Meeting is now the budget deliberation of the office of the DILG is now resumed. So at this point in time, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. There are a lot more to ask question. May mga 30 plus pa tayo. Isa from the minority and so at this time, I would like again to acknowledge the presence of our majority leader, Manix Delipe. Okay, so we just have the last for the minority. We have made the chair now recognize Representative Marisa Magsino. Representative Marisa Magsino, is she around? So we then proceed to the majority. So may we request, or may the chair now recognize Representative Samantha Santos.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to everyone present here today, to the honorables, the distinguished secretary, the undersecretary, and of course the members of the DILG. Your Honor, I would just like to ask the good secretary regarding the department's role in the NTF-ELCAC's support to the Barangay Development Program.
May we get an answer from the DILG family?
Yes, ma'am. As far as support to Barangay Development Program of the NTF-ELCAC, it's about 10 billion intended for the implementation of various programs for the declared barangays. Farm-to-market roads, school buildings, watershed sanitation system, health stations, electrification, agricultural, livelihood, and technical vocational transport project, monitoring and evaluation of the preparation, submission of the documentary requirements, and the actual implementation. Further, the office shall use a portion of its budget for third-party monitoring.
May I ask, Secretary, where in the budget of the DILG can we actually find the M&E funding for the Barangay Development Program? Thank you.
I think it's lumped in the 506 million allocation.
Yes, but as I am aware, through looking through the NEP, that is actually a lump sum, no? Ang inyong monitoring and evaluation fund. That's why I'm also suggesting that our Honorable Secretary, given that the DILG monitors not only the Barangay Development Program, but as well as the LGSF, ALGO projects. In fact, you also have special provisions number 4 for infrastructure. Wouldn't it be better that your monitoring fund wouldn't be in lump sum? Bakit po? We want to promote transparency from the very beginning of your presentation. Kaya siguro mas maganda po para sa atin, and of course for DILG, na your monitoring fund, because you already have an allocation, that in each project that we actually monitor under the monitoring fund would actually be segregated. So that alam po natin kung asa na proyekto, saan na programa, napupunta ang pondong iyon.
Well, we agree with this and we'll take note of this, Ma'am Congresswoman.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, ma'am.
Secretary. Your Honor, let us put into record that the DILG Secretary agrees to merge the budget of monitoring of the LGSF projects programs into one provision, and that they will be submitting, if that's okay, sir, that if you could submit a prorated amount for each project and program to be monitored.
Well, we'll just provide you, ma'am.
All right, thank you po.
Thank you, ma'am.
And in addition, I have another question related to the LCAC projects. Specifically, Your Honor, may we know from the good Secretary of the Department, paano nga ba natin sinasubmit ang reports natin sa DBM? Kasi alam naman po talaga natin na nagsasubmit po ang DILG. How does the finding affect the LGU's performance qualifications for the succeeding LGSF release requests?
Well, under the SBDB, it is a local government unit that submits.
Submits.
Yes,
Opo. Your Honor, in the case of Cotabato, I would just like to quote my province, which is the province of Cotabato, which apparently had a low performance rate or performance when it comes to delivering or complying to the LGSF, no, for LCAC. How, I would just like to know, paano nga ba ito maapektuhan ang current administration dahil napalitan naman po ang mga leaders natin from the previous administration that wasn't able to parang comply with the requirements moving forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. With the permission of the Chair, with regards to the concern raised by the Honorable Santos,
Yes.
your allocation for SBDP 2023 will not be affected, Your Honor, inasmuch as the barangays that will be benefited or will be benefiting from the SBDP 2023 are already predetermined by the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. So the performance of the previous administration will not really affect the beneficiary barangays of your province. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you po. Thank you po, Secretary and Yusek. I just wanted to clarify na hindi nga po maapektuhan ang mga performance ng previous administration, ang current administration. My last question, of course, would be in regards to the disaster preparedness of the DILG. Your Honor, given that we are experiencing a lot of natural disasters lately, from earthquake, typhoons, and so on, may we know what is the DILG's mandate or rule when it comes to disaster preparedness? May we know the specific action or programs that DILG regarding this matter?
With the permission of the good secretary, the DILG is the vice chair for preparedness, and as the vice chair, our department provides policy direction, strategic action to help enhance the capabilities of our local government units to become more resilient to disasters. In the department, we have several units working to make sure that we achieve the mandate of the DILG. Particularly, we mentioned the Local Government Academy, the Barangay, the Bureau of Local Government Development, the Central Office Disaster Operations Information Center, and even the Bureau of Local Government Supervision, which help craft policies being implemented by the LGUs. In times of disasters, Your Honor, it is the Central Office Disaster Operations Information Center which coordinates the actions of the department and even more importantly, our local government units. So it's the CODIX in the central office, which is the OPR in times of disasters and calamities.
In addition to that, I would just like to ask, is CODIX an office or is there a specific office in the DILG that actually handles disaster preparedness?
CODIX is really cannot be considered an office. As I mentioned, there are several units which work with one another to promote and pursue the programs, projects, and activities on disaster preparedness and resiliency. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, just a follow-up question, no? Your Honor, isn't it a bit strange, though, na ang DILG, which has a mandate to formulate plans, policies, and programs to meet local emergency arising from natural and man-made disasters, does not really have a specific office. Parang lamesa lang po talaga siya, no? Hindi po ba dapat na dahil marami na tayong climate change na nangyayari dito sa ating bansa, hindi po ba importante na gumawa na lang po tayo ng office para nga po mas ma-advance, mas ma-equip din po ang ating disaster preparedness so that our LGUs in the provinces, in the municipalities will also be well-informed or will be equipped at the same time?
Madam Chair, we fully agree with the good congressman. That is why in our NGA, the Devolution Transition Plan, we included a proposal for the creation of the office that she mentioned a while ago.
Okay. So,
Madam Chair, just to wrap up.
okay, one last. Congressman.
Your Honor, let us just put into record the agreed recording that the creation of a unit and office of disaster preparedness in the DILG. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat po,
So, may
Madam
we get
Chair.
an answer from, or comment from the DILG?
We will take note of the
Kindly
manifestation.
just take note,
Yes.
Apo Secretary.
Thank you.
So we can proceed to the next. The next to be recognized is Representative Marisa Magsino. Wala siya. So next is Representative Trixie Cardema. Wala.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Yes, please, go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, these questions are for the DILG Secretary and the PNP Chief. I would like to ask questions. Have we identified any barangay officials who are coordinating with the NPA rebels in their areas? And what do we do with such government officials?
Well, with reference to this, I will give the mic to the PNP. He knows if they have arrested anyone with this kind of crime. Please.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, in the event that we will be able to identify barangay leaders that are coordinating or cooperating with the enemy of the state, we are in the process of validating it, and in the event that it will be validated and evaluated, appropriate police response will be conducted, Mr. Chairman, sir.
And next question is, has the DILG already identified the governors and mayors who might be paying permit to campaign or revolutionary taxes to the CPP NPA?
Yeah, may I request those from the DILG, ilapit lang yung mic kasi you cannot be heard.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
So far, in this current election, there were no validated report from those running for elective position, paying for permit to campaign or those who are intending to yung permit to win na sinasabi po doon sa area ng mga affected CPP NPA areas nationwide po, ma'am.
Thank you. I ask because as government officials who took our oath to defend the Constitution, we should be helping our government troops and not coordinating, even funding the CPP NPA. So thank you, DILG PNP family. We in Duterte Youth partly strongly support your fight against the CPP NPA and to identify government officials who are allied with these terrorists. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, kindly take note of that, Secretary.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so are we done? Are you done, Ma'am Pixie? So may we proceed to the next? The Honorable Representative Romeo Ako is recognized by the Chair. Wala pa siya. Okay, so we move to Representative Florence Reyes. Okay, is Representative Romeo Acop around? And so with Representative Florence Reyes, or if they're not here, then we will recognize the Representative J.J. Romualdo. Okay. So, punta tayo. Next is Representative Wowo Cortez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen from the department. Madam Chair, part of the budget brief folder given to us by the Department of Interior and Local Government, in the last pages thereof, is entitled Efforts in Pursuing the Objectives of the Mandanas Ruling. Objectives of the Mandanas Ruling. Just to be clarified, the Mandanas Garcia ruling did two things. One, it struck down as invalid the provisions of the local government code, limiting the computation of ERA to internal revenue taxes, it being clear that by the provisions of the Constitution, the share of LGUs is inclusive of all national taxes. That's the first. Second, it directed the Department of Finance, the DPM, the Bureau of Customs, and the BIR to effect the computation. Consequently, whatever is the computation, it should be released automatically to the respective LGUs. In the implementation of the writ of execution, the issuance of EO 136 came about. And in the next page of the budget brief says, laying down the groundwork for LGU's devolution transition in connection with EO 138. Nothing in the Mandanas Garcia ruling was ever made LGU's devolution transition an objective. That is what I would like to understand on this brief, saying that the objective of the Mandanas Garcia ruling includes LGU's devolution transition plan. The Mandanas Garcia ruling is supposedly a manna from heaven for the LGUs. But with EO 138, ang nangyari, nada from heaven. Nawala ito. Further, we should consider that for 2023 era, lahat po ng LGU bumaba by about 14% ang ERA, or now we call it NATA, because the basis of the computation of NATA for 2023 is 3 years back, which is 2020. And we all understand that there was pandemic and low collection of taxes. 14% po ang binaba ng mga LGU, ERA. Masaya na sana dahil meron ng Mandanas Garcia doctrine, ruling, pumasok naman tong 138. Ngayon, andito ang 138, tamaan naman tayo nitong low collection ng 2020 at yun ang basis ng ERA. I don't know, I think DILG has to revisit EO 138 and recalibrate the LGU's devolution transition. For which purpose, I would only request that I be also furnished with a copy of the position paper specifically requested by Representative Edsel Lagman on the position paper on EO 138 by the department, so that during the plenary, probably we can have the commitment that EO 138 be revisited to assist the LGU's need, considering the reduction in the ERA, not only for 2023, but expectedly in 2024?
Okay.
Madam Chairman, may I answer?
Yes, Secretary.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, these are all valid observations of the good Congressman Fortes. I fully agree with it. It's supposed to be a manna from heaven. It's all of the collections that is supposed to be given to the LGUs. That's rightfully theirs. That's rightfully theirs. However, with 138 is that it emphasized the responsibilities, the roles of the LGUs as mandated by the local government code. It just enumerated and told the LGUs, eto na yun, ito yung dapat nyong gawin. But just like your observation, iba yung on the ground eh. Basta nasa ground ka, 4th, 5th class, 6th class, talaga mahirapan. Not only that, probably even other LGUs at that. And as correctly observed, even next year will be a hard time for them. So we are here right now with that 138 na inano ng DBM, with the Mandanas, andito ay ng DILG. Gumigit na kami. We were tasked to study this, pakinggan ng LGU. Although ito sinasabi ng local government code, kaya ba talaga ng LGU to o hindi? Is it time to amend the local government code for that? No, I think that's the long-term solution. Amend the local government code. And that's what I'm trying to do. I've been reaching out to the Committee on Local Government, Congressman Rex Gatchalian will be discussing things with this committee. Likewise, on the Senate, Senator J.B. Ejercito, to look into these provisions. But of course, we will give you our position paper, Congressman Fortes, para maipakita naman namin sa inyo observation namin. And mind you, nasa gitna po kami rito. What is appropriately should be done here, should be done immediately. Salamat po.
Madam Chair, I just would like to thank the good Secretary for taking into consideration the submissions I have given here vis-a-vis the Mandanas Garcia ruling and the Executive Order 138. So I just would like to expect that a copy of the position paper of the department, as requested by the Honorable Edsel Lagman, be furnished this representation upon submission to the committee. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Okay, so I think you only have 11 seconds, Fortes. So, expired na. Okay, so thank you very much, Fortes. So may the chair now recognize Representative Marisa Magsino.
Good afternoon po, Secretary Benhar Abalos, to our distinguished guests from the DILG. Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. In the crafting of the National Land Use Law, a proposed measure that has been pending in the Senate for many years, the major concern is identifying the misalignment or the lack of coherence of the various plans between the government agencies concerned and local government units in the preparation of the comprehensive land use plans and the comprehensive development plans at various levels of local governance. Moreover, it has been observed that the limited technical capabilities of the LGUs on the subject further aggravates the problem. I am asking this, aside from being the OFW Party List Loan Representative, I'm the Chairwoman Emerita of the National Real Estate Association of the Philippines and the Chair Lady Board of Advisors. So this is also my concern. For the support for the local government program, support for the local governance program, the amount of 188 million has been earmarked for 2023 to support the local development councils in the performance of their functions, particularly in the development of a comprehensive multi-sectoral development plan which should include a comprehensive land use plan. I suggest, Mr. Secretary, that the department must put more serious attention to ensuring that LGUs to come up with a well-grounded, database comprehensive land use plans for their respective localities that are aligned with the objectives of the National Development Plan. Towards this direction, the funding for the support for the local governance program be significantly utilized for the purpose. So that is my plea, Mr. Secretary.
Well, Ma'am, we will support your advocacy. I sincerely believe in it. It should always be aligned. So we will of course, tell this to the LGUs and rally them towards this, to support this national plan.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Speaker, one more please. Regarding the Mandanas ruling, the Supreme Court declared that the internal revenue allotment or ERA of the LGUs should come from the 40% of all the national taxes collected by the BIR and the Bureau of Customs. Under the old system, it only comes from the BIR. With the implementation of the Mandanas ruling this year, 2022, it is projected that the LGUs will have a 27.61% increase in its total ERA shares. With the bigger ERA for the national budget of 2023, the Department of Budget and Management said that the various national government functions that are scheduled to be devolved to the local government must permanently be taken out of the national agencies to empower the LGUs to assume them. Particularly, these functions include health services, local infrastructure, revenue mobilization, employment facilitation, social welfare, housing, natural resources management, and agricultural services. Mr. Secretary, the question is, are our LGUs ready and prepared to take over the functions that will be devolved to them on an absorptive capacity? And what steps or preparations are being taken towards this direction? Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, may we get an answer from the Secretary?
Yes, ma'am.
Pakilakasan lang po, Secretary, yung boses nyo.
Yes, ma'am. Actually,
Thank you.
pagdating po rito sa Mandanas ruling, it talks of mana, no, kamukha na sinabi ni Congressman Fortes. However, in-emphasize ng DBM na yung full devolution in accordance with the local government code should now be done. Sad to say, hindi lahat ng local government units kaya po. Particularly on school buildings. Hindi talaga kaya. At yun po ang ginagawa namin ngayon, nililista namin lahat ito. Para, if this is the law, this is local government code, this is in reality. Ito nangyayari sa baba.
Yes.
No? So, yun po, absorptive capacity talagang, I will say, iba talaga mahirapan.
Yeah. Thank you. So, yan nga po, Mr. Secretary, that's the very reason why siguro we have to tackle this issue very seriously.
Yes,
Kasi lalo na po yung mga far-flung places, ng mga LGUs natin, na hindi naman po sila well-learned on this kind of capacity function, this will be a real hindrance sa ating pong development na kailangan po sa DILG.
That's very true, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Congressman Marisa Magsino. And thank you, Secretary. So the next to be recognized is Representative Romeo Ako.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ako ba? Magandang hapon po sa ating mga bisita. And my congratulations to the new Secretary of the DILG.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Secretary, what is the absorptive capacity of your department?
Well, can I refer you to our finance, Esther? Can you please give the report?
Sir, in 2021, the assessment of the DBM Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair. In 2021, the report of the DBM in their assessment of our performance, our absorptive capacity is 98%.
Kindly repeat that, Madam.
98%, sir.
96.7. Did I hear you right?
For the Office of the Secretary, sir.
For the
but
whole-
for the
for the whole
DILG
department.
wide, sir. Yes,
Okay.
it's 96, sir.
Do you have in your record unreleased appropriations?
Yes, sir.
What are these unreleased appropriations? Maybe starting from 2019.
Sir, if we will use the first page of the NEP, the data there, sir, is 2021. Can we reckon it in 2021, sir? For the office, I can speak alone, sir, for the Office of the Secretary, and
Yeah,
the rest
please.
can also explain. Yes, sir.
Please.
For 2021, for the unused appropriation, we have a total of 2,305,808,000. And this is composed of unreleased appropriation of 1,171,467 and an obligated allotment of 1,134,341. The status of which, sir, as of June 30, 2022, is that for the unreleased appropriation, we still have an unused appropriation of 987 million. And for the unobligated, we still have 384 million 52,000, or a total of unused appropriation combining these two is 1,371,000, sir.
Now, what is the total now of your unused appropriations? Unused, it would include your unreleased and unobligated releases.
Yes, sir.
What's the total?
Yes, sir. As I have mentioned, it's 1,371
And that is
million,
for how many
combining 987,000 and 384 million, 987 million and 384 million. So it's 1,371,552,000, sir.
Madam Chair, may I request that the DILG
Yes.
gives me a report on why they have this amount of unreleased obligations.
Yes, sir.
And
We will
application.
forward the report, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Since I only have 5 minutes, my next questions will be for the PNP and NAPOLCOM. May I ask NAPOLCOM, have you submitted the reorganizational plan for the Philippine National Police as required by law under Republic Act 8551?
Your Honor, Madam Chair, we have submitted the proposed reorganization to the House of Representatives and to the Senate, Your Honor.
And what is now the status of this submitted reorganization plan as mandated by law?
Your Honor, Madam Chair, we are awaiting the action of the both houses of Congress on the proposed reorganization.
When was the last time NAPOLCOM has asked for the current situation of this report?
I suppose, Your Honor, Madam Chair, this was before the pandemic, Your Honor, and we have not been able to reach out to the House of Representatives on the disposition of the proposed reorganization. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And because of this, and I think it can be supported by the Philippine National Police, yung pong budget for personnel services would not be enough to support the personal services requirement of the Philippine National Police. May I ask the PNP if that is true?
Mr. Chairman, sir, with respect specifically, sir, to the creation of the Area Police Command, sir, this has been part of the supposedly reorganization that we have submitted for Congress, sir. Para nang sa ganun, sir, ay madagdagan po, sir, yung mga tao namin. Specifically, sir, yun pong span of control namin, sir, sa lumalaking population ng bawat region. And initially, sir, the activation, sir, of the DIPO, which is now the APC, dates back on the approval by then President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, in line with the trust of the PNP to carry out effectively its role under the Executive Order number 546 to direct and supervise the conduct of interregional anti-criminality, counter-terrorism, and counter-insurgency operation against lawless elements, which transcend regional boundaries, and to provide a system for the promotion of socio-economic development po, sir. And ito po mga DIPO, sir, na create natin, they are receiving out of the 5 DIPO, or the APC now, APC Eastern Mindanao, Northern Luzon, Southern Luzon, and Visayas, and Western Mindanao. We have a total MOE support amounting to 160 million. And then for the PS component po, sir, we need at least 168 million plus na PS component, plus the capital outlay, sir. At least we need an initial 104 million for the capital outlay or construction of the different offices of the Area Police Command, sir. That's why we really need, sir, the approval of both houses of Congress, sir, so that it would legitimize po, sir, yung mga promotions ng aming mga head ng APC, and then the additional personnel that will compose the manning of this APC, as well as the MOE and the capital outlay, sir.
You mentioned about area police commands. Is there a line budget for these units in the NEP of 2023?
Actually, sir, it's not included, sir. So we draw the budget for specifically the MOE. Doon po, sir, sa command reserve po ng PNP, sir.
May I know the rationale behind the creation of this area police commands? Para bang, kasi ginagaya nyo lang yung Armed Forces of the Philippines na merong area command sila eh.
Yes,
May I
sir.
know the reason why you resorted to this?
The creation, sir, of the area police command, sir, is in preparation po, sir, for the eventual turnover of the ISO operations on the part of the PNP, when the armed forces would eventually focus on the external defense po, sir. That's why there's really need, sir, to have a transition period so that by the time that in the event that the NTF-ELCAC will be successful, sir, so definitely, sir, the PNP will take over the function of the Armed Forces of the Philippines as far as the ISO operation is concerned, sir.
Under the law also, the Chief PNP is authorized to create national support and administrative units. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir, for as long as it does not need any additional, I think PS, sir, that does not call for promotion.
That's under Section 13 of 6995.
Yes.
6975.
Yes, sir.
Now, nangyayari ngayon sa kapulisan, marami ng general eh. Simply because we do not have an approved reorganizational structure as mandated by law. And since 2010, I have been asking this question, bakit hindi nasasubmit yung reorganization plan? Kaya tuloy, yung inyong structure, hindi na pyramidal or triangular. Nagsanga-sanga na, mas maraming ranko na nandito, mas marami ang ranko na nandyan. Simply because we do not have that reorganizational structure. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes. So, what is necessary now is for Congress to approve what you have submitted. I do not know because in the last 3 years I was not a member of Congress, so I do not know the status of this submission of yours. May I ask that you verify this so that, you know, we can help you kung kanino nyo sinubmit?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir, and
Kindly
we
wind up,
will be resubmitting, sir. We'll be resubmitting, sir, our reorganization and restructuring of the PNP, sir, and this is also part of our priority law that we are asking to be legislated by both Congress, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nababasa ko po yung nandun.
Yes.
Nag-expire na po yung oras para sa akin.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Maswerte talaga yung PNP dahil wala akong masyadong maraming oras. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you very much, Congressman Romy Acop. And may I request the family of the ILG to submit to the committee those documents being requested by the Honorable Romy Acop.
Yes, Madam Chairman, sir.
So the next to be recognized is Representative J.J. Romualdo. And next is, okay, so may the, yes, may the chair now recognize Representative J.J. Romualdo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to our Secretary of the ILG and the ILG family. Anyway, I think my concerns are being addressed too. And of course, I have high respects of our secretary, a good friend since then, our father days pa, and of course, Gerald Azurin. So I defer my questioning in the budget of the ILG for 2023, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you.
Okay. So are you done? So thank you very much, Representative J.J. Romualdo. So the next to be recognized is Representative Jaime Presnedi. Representative Presnedi is recognized by the chair. So I think he's not in Zoom. So may the chair now recognize the Honorable Vice Chair Romeo Momo.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good afternoon, Secretary. Looking into your budget and comparing your GAA, or General Appropriations Act of 2022, as against your NEP of 2023, there seems to be a substantial decrease in the allocations for the local government academy. In fact, the variance is about minus 42%. Now, my question is, hindi ho ba maapektahan ang efficiency ng DILG sa production na ito?
We noticed that, sir, and we really were requesting from the DBM an increase of this.
Yeah, we will support you on that, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My next question is, how do you prioritize the allocations of the construction of 60 fire stations and fire trucks? Given the number of municipalities And as against your proposed budget, kukunti lang kasi ho, paano ho niyo na i-allocate ito? At least, kasi nakita ko dito sa inyong sa inyong listahan, with this allocation, mayroon pang naiwang 156 municipalities without fire stations, and of course, many are without fire trucks also. Paano ho na-allocate iyan?
With the permission of the Secretary, sir. As of now, sir, we have 203 municipalities with a fire station, but there is already completed 8 subject for delivery and ongoing fire station of 20. We have now a shortage of 175 fire stations. And in the budget proposal, it is only 60. If we will complete this one, we still have 115 municipal fire stations to be made. In the prioritization of the construction of the fire stations, number one really, sir, is the population of the certain municipality. Then second, sir, is the radius of that particular town, how far it is from the neighboring town. That's all we do, sir.
Yeah, I hope municipalities will comply with that requirement, sir, for the provision of additional police fire stations.
Thank you, sir.
My next question, Secretary, is to police the police is and to prosecute the police is the Internal Affairs Service or ES. Whose role really is to prosecute, iring policemen, di ba po? However, the funds of IAS is channeled to PNP. Di ba ho, ngayon, sa ngayon? Hindi kaya may disconnect dito, medyo may problema dahil yung piniprosecute mo ho ay PNP and then the funds are channeled to PNP. Wala ba hong ibang paraan na the funds will be instead managed by the DILG and then directly released to ES?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir. Actually, sir, we had been trying to propose po yung budgetary autonomy po dati ng IAS. However, hindi po yata ganoong napagtuunan ng pansin niya, sir, ng mga previous budget, yung mga previous na budget proposal po natin, sir. And yes, sir, maybe, sir, to strengthen po yung yun pong IAS so that they can really do their mandate po. Pwede ho na doon po sa mismong Napolcom po i-course yung budget po ng ating IAS with the concurrence, of course, of the IGES, Your Honor.
I believe so, General, because this will really give more independence to ES, di ba? My next question is there a performance review po ng mga field personnel ninyo from LGOO to your regional directors? Of course, there is always, di ba? In all agencies, you are reviewing the performance ratings of your subordinates in the field, di ba? Now, my question is, if there is, then kindly po revisit the performance of one of your LGOO in my province, particularly po, the municipality of Lianga. Baka ho, pwedeng ma-review ninyo at kung makita niyo may lapses ang ating MLGOO, can you please transfer her, babae ito po, para ho naman mabigyan ng magandang resulta ang serbisyo ng DILG sa munisipyo na yan po.
Yes, sir. They're being reviewed by the regional directors. And in turn, the regional directors are being reviewed by the Office of Yusek Iringan. We'll see to it that it be reviewed, sir. We'll just take note of this, sir, and give you our report.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Secretary.
sir.
And finally, Madam Chairman, I would like to manifest that this representation will fully support the budget of the ILG, even in the request for the increases of their budget. Thank you,
Thank you,
Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much, Representative Momo. And the next to be recognized is Representative Mark Go. I think he's via Zoom. So Representative Mark Go is recognized by the chair. Representative Mark Go. Okay, so we move on to Representative Virginel Biron. Representative Virginel Biron is recognized by the chair. Okay, so, yeah, thank you. May we go to the next? Representative Emano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Secretary, to the men in uniform. Good afternoon. I actually was listening earlier and had the same concerns with Kong Momo regarding ES funds, which I appreciated the answer of the PNP chief that hopefully it will be transferred to Napolcom. I looked at your budget. I think I was given there was a budget that I saw, a briefer that was thicker. Mine was a little bit payatot, but definitely same question, Mr. Secretary. I noticed that in your budget, it a substantial increase of around 1.7 billion, but sad to say the Office of the Secretary decreased, but I have here an item of the Bureau of Fire which increased, and may I ask the Bureau of Fire that the increase of 584 million, where will it go?
May we get an answer from the ILG?
Pakibilisan na lang, sir. 3 minutes na lang.
In the proposal, sir, of our budget, it is sorry, sir.
I hope that it
Okay,
will not be taken from my time.
Maybe you can
Madam
go
Chair.
to the next congressman while
Yep,
I
I
think they're
actually have a
looking for some
follow-up.
documents.
Yes, sir.
Or
well-
are you ready now?
Sorry, sir.
Okay, so you're
Our
recognized.
budget, sir, is from
You have an increase of 584 million, sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And from the 584 million, where will it be used?
The increase of the 584 million, sir, will be particularly for the construction of fire stations and additional procurement of fire trucks.
Yeah, I asked, sir, because I used to be governor of Misamis Oriental for 9 years, and was working closely with the regional director, and we had a plan to create build a training school for you for free. The land I got from the University of the Science of the Philippines. It was 1 hectare. Buildings were supposedly be donated by the companies within the province of Misamis Oriental, Cagayan de Oro. But sad to say, the regional director, I think the name was Carlitos Dueñas, did not pursue on the plan to give you a free training school in the province of Misamis Oriental. So I don't think you need the additional budget, sir. Kasi binibigyan na nga kayo na libre, tapos hindi nyo pa tinatrabaho, parang hindi pa natanggap, provincial government na nagbigay lahat, tapos ngayon may increase yan ng budget. Siguro mas maganda ilipat natin to sa ibang department.
Sir, if I may, sir, I was informed regarding that matter, sir, that regarding the training center, actually we opened that one, sir, with PPEC because the training centers are under PPEC and the Bureau of Protection has only one training camp right now. It is under PPEC at the National Fire Training Institute in Camp Bicentilin. And we had really shortage of training centers. That's why we opened through the satellite training centers. But unfortunately, sir, the PPEC fund for that was so limited. So hindi po talaga nakapag-open ng training centers ang PPEC, specifically the Bureau of Fire Protection trainees.
No, actually, sir, you didn't have to spend a single centavo.
Yes,
The
sir.
land I was able to get from USTP
Yes, sir.
for free for 1 hectare. The buildings, the facilities, I was able to solicit from companies within the province as their corporate social responsibility, and yet you did not decide to pursue with the program.
I will look into that, sir. I will look into that, sir, personally, sir. Then I will feedback you, sir.
Hopefully, sir, you will be able to give it.
Thank you, sir.
You will be able to give it attention. Sayang, sir, eh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Naghirap kami sa provincial government, tapos ang nangyari, parang kayo pang umaayaw. Libre na nga lahat, eh.
We will look into that, sir.
Kaya I was thinking earlier, ba't binigyan kayo increase? But, I'll give you time, sir.
Yes,
With
sir,
the
we
new
will.
administration, I'll give you opportunity
Yes,
to
sir.
hopefully be able to fix it. And I am not anymore governor, but I believe that the sitting governor is more than willing to continue with the proposed plan of putting up a training school in the province of Misamis Oriental. I also noticed, sir, that you will be hiring new personnel for for Bureau of Fire next for 2023.
That's correct, sir. 2,000 per annum, sir.
2,000 per annum. So
Yes,
you'll
sir.
be hiring 2,000 for 2023.
Yes, sir. That's
How will you do that, sir? Will you do that by region or will you...
We do that by regional office, sir.
and by the... meaning that depending on the needs of the region.
That's correct, sir.
For Region 10, may we know?
Actually, sir, we don't have the exact figure now for per regions. But the lump is 2,000 for 2023.
How come you know you need 2,000, you don't even know which regions needs what and how many?
Actually, sir, yung 2,000 kasi namin, sir, is regular na 2,000. Tapos, depende, sir, sa magiging buildings namin. May mga station kasi, sir, na locally funded. Nagbibigay kami ng tao doon, so doon kami mag-adjust, sir, sa number of recruits na idadagdag on that particular region.
Sir, Madam Chair, is he trying to say that you will be training and recruiting 2,000 personnel next year,
Yes, sir.
and yet you don't know where to put them?
Right now, sir, we are still, we will wait for the construction of fire stations. We have undergoing constructions now, sir, of fire stations. By the time it will be delivered on that particular region, magdagdag po kami ng tao doon.
I don't think it's fair that
Yes, sir.
Congress does not know where you will be, placing the 2,000 workers for next year.
Actually, sir, naka-plurate kami. Hati-hatiin yan siya equally. Pero mag-adjust kami, depende sa... May mga ongoing po kasing construction kami ng fire stations. Pag may na-turnover na sa amin yung project, sir, mag-a-adjust kami doon. Magdadagdag kami doon.
I am actually, would you be able to give me maybe later
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will do
on
that, sir.
the allocation of Region 10 and the other regions, sir?
Thank you, sir. I will
Thank
do
you.
that, sir.
Madam Chair, next is, you'll be purchasing, Madam Chair, they will be purchasing new fire trucks next year.
Sir, we will be purchasing
How many?
41 fire trucks.
Only?
16 is from the regular fund, and 25 is from the SEG.
And were you able to allocate which municipality or city needs it already, or you'll be purchasing again without knowing how many municipalities who actually need them?
The basis for the deployment of our fire trucks, sir, is first are the municipalities with new buildings. Wala pang fire truck bibigyan namin. Then the second, sir, is our consideration, sir, really, sir, is the refleeting of our fire trucks. The old fire trucks, the 40-year-old fire trucks and up, papalitan namin ng bago, yung luma nila, aayusin, ibigay naman doon sa kabilang locality.
Yeah, because have you been to Region 10 or the province
Yes, sir,
of
I
Misamis Oriental?
Yes, sir,
And are you familiar with the PBDEC Industrial Authority and Industrial Estate?
Yes, sir.
Which
Yes,
is
sir.
actually the lifeline of the province of Misamis Oriental. And PBDEC is actually situated in the municipality of Taguluan. And until today, they were not able to acquire a single fire truck, which actually they really need because of the industrial estate and that's where the international port is. Would I be assured that they too will be given preference by 2023?
Yes, sir, we will do that,
Okay,
sir.
so Congressman Emano.
Thank you. Others I will write.
Thank
but
you very much.
Same here, Madam Chair, I would move to support the budget of the Secretary and the Department of the Interior and Local Government,
Yes,
and
thank
hopefully
you.
get the answers from the Bureau
Thank
of Fire.
you,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you,
Madam
Congressman
Chair,
Emano.
Madam
And-
Chair, may I
Yes,
comment?
Secretary.
I would just like to thank the good governor, Congressman Emano, especially for his gesture of the land and the school. We really badly need that. I will make sure that we will really study that very well, and we need that. We thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Thank
And
you, sir.
it's still existing, and definitely, sir, once they will work on it, I will work on it
Yes,
on my
sir.
part. We hopefully will be able to build it by second quarter of next year, sir.
It will decentralize our training
So,
program.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Secretary, it seems that we've got a lot of problem with the BFP, particularly in the construction of fire station. Bakit matagal ba ang pag-construct? Are they not awarded to a contractor?
Ma'am, ang problema kasi sa fire station, sa paggawa ng jail, paggawa ng police station, before there was a requirement that land should be donated by the local government unit.
Yeah, I know the
It's a concept. So,
LGU knows that.
Ang ginawa ko, ma'am, para ma-expedite, use of frac na lang.
Oh yeah.
Ganun na lang. 30 years long term para mas dumami po ang ano. Yun po.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. So, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Next to be recognized is Representative Princess Sakaluran. So, Representative Sakaluran is not with us, so we go back to Representative Marco via Zoom. Representative Marco.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Sa lahat po ng officials ng DILG, magandang hapon po at sa akin po mga kasama sa Kongreso via Zoom at saka po yung physically present sa ating pong plenary hall. Ang tanong ko po kay Secretary Abalos, yung pong budget na na-approve ayon sa NEP is of DILG is 251 billion. At yung budget ninyo ng 2022 is 249 billion. I would like to ask from you, Secretary Benhar, kung magkano po yung original na proposal ninyo for DILG for 2023?
Ang proposal po talaga namin ay 296 billion.
296. Kayo po ba ay satisfied dito sa na-approve na 251 billion 184 million 514,000?
Talaga kung mahihirapan po kami sa totoo lang.
Meron po bang mga programa na hindi magagawa ninyo at maapektuhan ang performance ng DILG dahil po dito sa na-approve lang na 251 billion pesos as against your original proposal of almost 300 billion?
Okay, I'll just give you an example po. No? Ito yung sa Office of the Secretary lang. Yung meron kaming salintubig program, no? Ito yung effective dahil ito yung mga lugar na geographically isolated, mga malalayong lugar na gumagawa po kami ng tubig. No? Binibigay namin yung pera sa LGU. Papatayo ng tubig, tapos yung community, sila na po ang magpapatakbo nito. Yung pera hindi ho namin hinahawakan, no? Direkta po ito. Ang gandang programa po nito, dahil nakita ko ito sa Bukidnon, sa ibang lugar, at yung komunidad talagang sila na nagpapatakbo. No? Ito, mawawala po ito. Tapos, yung pong quick response for support to operations of LGUs during disasters and emergencies, 50 million, mawawalan po kami rito. No? Pagkatapos, ito rin pong yung full devolution, maximizing LGU potential, 78 million. Yung aming LGU database for evidence-based planning, no, to support the community-based monitoring system, 9 million. Pagkatapos yung strengthening local evacuation system, kasi importante po ito 5th and 6th class na lang, 39 million, mawawala rin. And of course, ang aming monitoring and evaluation of assistance to municipalities is about 200 million. Ito'y sa office lang po ito namin po, no? Sa PNP budget naman, no? Okay. Ang mawawala sa kanila is 158 million sa medical equipment ng NCRPO medical, no? Sa Napolcom, marami po ito no? Yung kanilang janitorial services, security services, yung kanilang rata, mga newly approved attorneys for attorney 5 positions for the legal affairs, no? Tapos, meron pa silang provision for the increase in rental of office buildings sa Region 4B, Region 6, Region 7, Region 9, Region 10, Region 11, Caraga, provision for sewage wastewater treatment plant, no? Pero ito isa sa pinaka-importante, itong Local Government Academy. Kasi ito po yung capacity building ng mga bagong mga governor, mga bagong elected official, no? Malaking bagay component po. Ang nawala sa kanila is 122 million. So ano-ano ito? Siguro ang nawala sa kanila is support to upscaling organizational grit of local government units. This is about 50 million. Capacity Development Advancement Fund of 23 million. LGRC Collaboration, Advancement, Reinvigoration, Expansion of Services, 49 million or a total of 122 million. No? So, marami pa ho. Siguro papatuloy ko lang kay... Ibibigay ko na lang po lahat po sa inyo ito para makita nyo po itong mawawala mga programa.
Maraming po salamat, Secretary Abalos. Kung titingnan po ninyo dito sa na-approve na budget ninyo at saka yung talagang critical projects that you will forgo if and when hindi po ma-adjust yung inyong budget, meron po ba kayong must-dos talaga na dapat maisama sa 2023 para pagdating po natin sa plenaryo, pwede po nating i-recommend yan kahit na hindi na buo yung inihingi ninyo ay pwede nating ingin at aproban ng Kongreso bago po ito ay mapasa sa Kongreso at maibigay natin sa Senado. Magkano po yan? You don't need to answer now. Probably we can have that given to us bago po tayo magkaroon ng discussion sa plenary ng itong budget ninyo.
Siguro ibibigay ko po sa inyo yung listahan, pero just to give you an example would be the recruitment of the police. Dati taon-taon is 10,000, no? Ngayon po 1,000 na lang.
Dito po sa inyong unfilled positions, nakalagay po rito, ang unfilled positions ninyo is 18,509. Ang kapulisan po, meron kayong unfilled position of 13,208. Ito po yung PNP uniform personnel. Yun naman sa Bureau of Fire, 2,621 at saka yung BJMP is 2,666. But you are asking for additional positions, 2,000 na fire officer, 2,000 na jail officer, 1,000 sa police at 200 sa PPSA cadets. Ito po bang 18,509 na ito ay ipipila po ninyo ngayong susunod na taon na 2023? At in addition to this, ito pong hinihingi ninyo talagang kailangan po ito na ma-hire ninyo in 2023. Ginoong
Yes, sir.
Secretary Kalim po.
Can I have our PNP and BFP and the BGMP answer this? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, sir, thank you very much, sir. If possible po, sir, kailangan po namin, sir, because we really need personnel, sir, specifically, sir, doon po sa ma-assign sa PNPA natin at saka sa NPTI, since we absorb po, nung nalipat po, sir, ang PNP at saka NPTI sa PNP, sir, there are certain supposedly positions intended for NUP, but unfortunately, sir, this was not included po, sir, doon sa budget ng hindi po naisama ng DBM, sir, doon sa aming budgetary requirement po, sir, yung hiring ng mga NUP, sir, sa PNPA and NPTI, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you po. Ito pong 13,000 unfilled positions, you plan to fill this up this 2022 and probably early part of 2023?
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir.
So sa palagay po ninyo, in this year, you will be able to fill up these positions?
We cannot
Mr.
fill this up this year, sir, but hopefully, sir, with the additional budget that will be given by Congress, just in case, I will be able to fill it up by 2023, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you po. Alam po ninyo, ako po'y talagang bilib po sa ating PNP, lalong-lalo na po yung aming dating regional commander dito, si Regional Police Director Richard Lee, at saka yung aming pong Baguio Police Director, si Police Lieutenant, Colonel Glenn Lanogan. Yan pong mga opisyal po ninyo ay talaga pong maasahan po natin dito sa aming Cordillera at saka dito po sa lungsod ng Baguio. Of course, ako po'y naniniwala din sa bago po naming Pro-Corps Chief po dito, si Police General Aspero Bazar. Kaya ako po ay sumusuporta sa inyong budget na dagdagan po yan at asahan po ninyo pagtanggap ko po ng inyong additional budget na talagang kailangan po ninyo, ako po ay magmamanifest na kailangan isama po natin ito sa 2023 budget. So yun lang po, Madam Chair, and maraming salamat po sa ating pong Secretary Bernard Abalos at ating pong mga leaders ng PNP at iba pang mga ahensya ng ating gobyerno under the DILG. So again, good afternoon at pagpalain po tayo ng ating Panginoon Diyos. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Kong Marco, for the support that you're giving to the family of the DILG.
Gusto ko rin po magpasalamat, no? Sobrang salamat. Maraming salamat po, Congressman Marco. Thank you po.
Okay, so the next to be recognized is Deputy Majority Leader Janet Garin. Deputy Majority Floor Leader Janet Garin is recognized by the Chair. So next is Representative Celso Regencia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Secretary Benhor Abalos, sir. Don't worry, I will not ask questions, but I will manifest my support to the DILG family. Mr. Secretary, I was once a member of the Philippine National Police, and I have been in the service for 30 years and 5 months before I joined the politics. First, I would like to make mention my classmates who are here. The President of the National Police College, Mr. Romy Magsalos. One of my classmates also, Yosek Serafin Barito Jr., Yosek of the DILG. Of course, our Chief PNP, General Asurin, the USIC of the National Police Commission, Attorney Bernardo, and my underclassmen, Jail Director Eral, and Fire Director Puracan. Visitors, good afternoon. I just want to make a manifestation that I will fully support the PNP because I was once a member of this organization, and during my term as City Mayor of Iligan City, I really support the PNP when it comes to logistics. I procure 26 vehicles intended for the Philippine National Police in Iligan City Police Office, in which I was once the commander of that police office. For the jail, I also donated building because during the time of Karilga, talagang nagumpukan yung mga nakukulong doon. And for the information of everybody, when I became a mayor in Iligan City, I was incarcerated for 1 year, 3 months, 18 days, 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 36 seconds for the crime in which I have not committed. And that is because of politics. Congressman Akop here is my companion of the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Task Force. My area is in Mandanas area too. So, Mr. Secretary, rest assured that I will fully support the organization, especially the 3 branches, the PNP, BGMP, and the Bureau of Fire Protection. That's all, Madam Chairman. Thank you and good afternoon to each and every one of us.
Honorable
salamat po.
Celso.
Maraming salamat.
So the next to be recognized is Representative Peter Miguel.
Ako na. Salamat po, Madam Chair. Magandang hapon po sa ating Secretary. Magandang hapon po sa lahat na kasama natin sa public service. Ako po'y talagang nagagalak sa nakita kong record. It says here that our actual and fill-up rate, karoon tayo ng 1:496 police patrol for 2022. And we're adding around 1,000 more. That would make 227,410 patrolmen and women. That would make a ratio of 1:494. Natutuwa po ako dito, pero alam niyo po, matagal na rin ako naging mayor sa Coronadal City. Simulat sa poll 2010, humihingi na ako sa DILG ng dagdag ng policemen. And sadly, ngayong araw, tumawag po ako sa COP. In 99, patrolmen and women pa rin po ang nandun. In a 200,000 population, that would translate to around 1:2,000. One policeman in 2,000 population. So yun po yung malaking tanong na siguro ngayon masasagot na kung bakit ganito po. For the record, we have a very good ratio, but in implementation and actuality, and probably not only in Coronadal, but all over the country. Nakausap ko na rin po yung mga mayor nung araw sa LCP. League of Cities, gano'n din po ang problema. Hindi po nagkakaroon ng tamang proportion distribution of policemen doon po sa grounds, doon po sa LGU. Paano po ito, sir?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir. Sir, on the distribution, sir, of our recruitment, sir, we really prioritize po yung mga areas of concern po natin. And the reason sometimes, that's why some areas are not being allocated additional police po, because based on record po ay very peaceful po ang area niyo, sir. Be that as it may, sir, we'll check po ulit yung mga record po natin so that additional personnel po sa Coronadal will be allocated po sa inyo, sir.
In fact, I'm not only speaking about Coronadal. What's happening right now, actually, pinag-aralan ko rin. We have this attrition quota, I understand, every year that would cover those retirees. And we have also a regular quota, isn't it? But the problem is, even yung attrition quota, hindi po bumabalik. Yun lang tanong ko, bakit yung doon nang galing tinrain na from a particular LGU, trained by the region or the national PNP at that, so that in the end they will serve the LGU, they would never go back. They will be lumped up in the region as commonly being part of the mobile force, which in fact mobile force would become just anti-insurgency, probably anti-terrorism. But the populace needs more people, as they say. Peace and order is the key to progress, and peace and order, the key to it is police visibility. How can we attain that if we don't have policemen that would really be in the streets to safeguard? Yes, generally, Coronadal is safe. South Cotabato is a safer province. I would admit that. I'm proud of it. But still, the people would like to see policemen in the streets, no matter where we are in the Philippines. So yun lang po ang sa akin. There should be a system wherein every year po, alam ko merong policemen na natitrain bago. Pero hindi namin nararamdaman yung pag-uwi man lang ng policemen na nanggagaling sa amin na sana pagbalik, doon na magtitrain. As I look at your figures here, it says that you are going to fill up 18,509 uniform and non-uniform positions. And 13,208 particularly would go to the uniform personnel, and you're spending around 4.983 billion. It's so interesting. I'm sure every year there is a budget that runs this much. But again, kahit man lang po, siguro 10-10 bawat taon, bawat LGU, at makikita natin, I think, peace and order would not be the problem. Would have made a problem as an image of the entire country. We know precisely there's one problem of our country, the image of peace and order. So yun po, sana matugunan ng sistema, nababalik po sana yung regular quota as well as attrition quota sa particular LGUs po.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Congressman.
Yes, I have no more question. I would like to thank you at the DILG. Salamat po.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so maraming salamat, Representative Peter Migo. Now, may I relinquish my post to my co-chair, co-sponsor, Vice Chair Jose Aquino of the 1st District of Agusan del Norte.
Thank you. We now go to the next interpellator. We have Vice Chair Eric Martinez. Again, do we have Vice Chair Eric Martinez? Well, he's not around. We have next is Representative Edibong Plaza. He was here earlier this morning. Representative Plaza, is he around? We go to the next is Representative Steve Solon. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Sir Secretary, Chief PNP, and the entire team. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, sir. Grabe talagang tulong niyo sa amin sa Sarangani Province sa lahat ng mga programs from peace and security to the LGU. Ang puntirya ko dito, sir, is itong e-clip program natin dahil grabe ang improvement ng situation namin sa Sarangani dahil dito. Nakikita ko lang paminsan, there might be an issue with the time the funding arrives to the LGU. Example, sirs, We have a surrenderee who comes. He is vetted by the PNP and the Army. Paminsan po, it takes maybe 5 to 8 months bago mabigay yung 65,000 para sa former combatant na yon. So naghihingi siguro kami ng tulong not only for Sarangani but maybe for the other provinces that have the ECLIP program. Sana mapabilis po natin yung time between the surrenderee is vetted and the time the funds come down, the livelihood assistance comes down to the former combatant. Sir Asurin also, sir, may isang nakaangkla din sa ECLIP, yung firearms remuneration. Ito po paminsan natatagalan dahil when the former combatant comes down with their firearms and ang pakasabi sa amin sa region parati is nasa krame pa. Hindi ko masyadong naintindihan kung anong ibig sabihin yan, but siguro you guys have to value the firearm before giving its value to the former combatant. Is there any way that we can speed up that process, Sir Asurin?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir. Sir, with regards to the remuneration of the firearms, sir, ang ano kasi po dyan, sir, is, first of all, sir, is, we really need to, kuminsan, sir, yung mga combatant na nagsusurrender, sir, ay hindi po sila, sir, listed, sir, dun sa mga listahan, sir, na supposedly are identified na mga combatants po, sir. But yes, sir, we'll try to find ways on how to process po yung claim nila sa remuneration ng firearms po, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I guess another question would be for the BJMP. Sir, tanong ko lang sana kung ano po yung policy ninyo sa pag-absorb ng provincial jail ng mga probinsya, no? Like sa Sarangani province po, it's run by the provincial LGU. Kung pwede po ma-absorb sa BJMP.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, sa ngayon, sir, ang status po ng pag-transfer ng supervision ng provincial jails from the provincial government to the BGMP, naka-hold po yan, sir, kasi ang DOJ nagpalabas ng opinion na ultra vires yung kung ang gagawin lang is through memorandum of agreement. So there has to be a law to be passed by Congress transferring the provincial jail from the provincial government to the BGMP. So sa ngayon, sir, hindi talaga kami ngayon nagtatanggap ng provincial jail through a MUA. Although we know from our latest survey being conducted sa mga provincial governors, there are a lot of provincial governors, I think 40, willing to transfer the supervision of provincial jails to the BGMP. But we cannot do otherwise, sir, except to follow the DOJ opinion. So, kailangan talaga, sir, one of the proposed bills na sinubmit namin sa Congress is transferring the supervision of provincial jail from the provincial government to the BGMP.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Steve Solon. Next, we go to Representative Jervil Luistro. Congressman Luistro. Zoom? Zoom? Wala nakalagay dito na Zoom. Oh. Huh? Please unmute. Sinasabi niya, wala. Please unmute your mic. Oh, yun na. Yeah. Wala na? Okay. Next, we have on Zoom, Representative Lani Mercado Revilla. Zoom.
Yes, Mr. Chair, magandang hapon po, Mr. Secretary.
It's a pleasure to see you via Zoom. One of my questions po is an existing memorandum circular that DILG has issued last November 2020, number 160. This has something to do with the guidelines for the implementation of the prescribed standardized memorandum of agreement for cooperative arrangements between informal settler families sending and receiving local government units on provision and utilization of financial assistance. In Annex 1, there's a proposed computation on financial assistance. Ang take-off ko po nito, Mr. Secretary, is we are ascending off city, LGU, and we are sending off our informal settler families to Naik, Bacoor City, which I am a part of. I am the representative of the 2nd District of Cavite. We are complying now with the Manila Bay Mandanas. And our ISFs are around 12,000 families. And so far, we have already transferred almost 5,000 families in different parts, in Naik and in Trece Martires. Before I ended my term, we were asked by the LGU of Naik to give LGU Naik 24,000 pesos per family. So that's around roughly, we were awarded 1,000 units by the National Housing Authority. The receiving municipality requested for 100 units out of the 1,000. So we gave them 100 units. So we're left off already now with 900. So 900 times 24,000 is roughly around 21,600,000. Maaring ito ay maliit na halaga sa mga malalaki ang kitang mga lungsod, kagaya ng Maynila o Quezon City. Pero sa aming mga taga-Bacoor, medyo malaking halaga po ito. At dati nagsimula ho kami ng tulong sa Naik ng hindi ganitong amount. Nagsimula lang po kami around 5 million pesos. May donated na ambulansya, may donated na garbage truck, at simpleng AIX na tigpa 500,000 sa mga ospital na malapit po sa Naik. Pero ngayon, talagang medyo nagulat po kami na hinihingan po kami ng 24,000 dahil po dito sa memorandum circular na ito na bigay po ng DILG. Ito po ang ginagamit nilang batayan sa panuntunan na ito. How can you help us, Mr. Secretary? Ito po ang ginagamit na panuntunan. Ang nangyayari tuloy, hindi kami makapag-transfer ng mga ISF families. Nakakaawa ko yung mga pamilyang ito, umaasa ko silang malilipat na dahil nasa danger zone po sila. At they're expecting na magkakaroon sila ng sarili mga tahanan through the National Housing Authority. Wala, na-block po ngayon, nakatenga po kami ngayon. And there are existing DPWH projects now being constructed along the areas where they will be taken away from. Kasi i-resettle na nga ako sa ibang lugar. Paano kaya ninyo kami matutulungan dito, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Yusek?
Yes, with the permission of the Chair, Representative Danny Revilla, ma'am. We will revisit the mentioned memorandum circular issued last 2020 to look into the concerns raised by not only by the good congressman but also the other local government units which have intention really to relocate or resettle their informal settlers. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Probably a suggestion, Yusek, since you have already a program, meron na tayong Supreme Court Mandamus ruling about resettlement of informal settler families living in danger zones. Baka pwede ang mangyari, magkaroon tayo ng pondo na para na lamang po on a national scope. Kumbaga, sasaluhin mo ng national government ang pagsasalo nitong responsibilidad na ito na magbigay sa accepting LGU ng ganitong klaseng halaga. Kasi kawawa naman po yung mga mahihirap po nating mga munisipyo. Ito po ay, ulitin ko po ulit, guidelines for the implementation of Resettlement Governance Assistance Fund, yung RGAF.
Yes, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, we take note of that, but we look at the memorandum circular mentioned by the good Congressman. It is not really provided in the memorandum circular the amount that will have to be shelled out by the sending local government unit. It is not mandatory or necessary that, for example, the particular city will provide 24,000 per individual or household that will be sent to a particular local government unit. It is already up to them to agree on the terms of reference of their agreement, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, DILG, so kindly look at Annex 1, the proposed computation on financial assistance amount. Nakalagay po dito, amount of financial assistance equals LGU's daily minimum wage times 60. So that's, in our case, that's 400 pesos times 60. So that's 24,000 pesos. Number of informal settler houses or households to be resettled. Ito po, hawak ko po yung kopya. Ito po ang ginagamit sa amin ng accepting LGU. Kaya naka-hold ho lahat ang resettlement po namin. Dahil sabi daw po ito ng DILG. Yun po, kayo po ang pinukot nito. So please, kindly give us probably in writing a directive on how to continue resettlement and probably look into this. Medyo mabigat po ito sa mga sending off. At wala po itong legal basis.
Excuse me,
Memorandum.
Kong Lani, please wind up.
Yes po.
Yes.
I think, Mr. Chair, that is only my question, and malaking bagay po ito kapag ito'y na-actionan kaagad ng DILG, at malaking tulong po ito sa National Housing Authority. Marami mo silang mga buildings o units na hindi mo maibigay o pabahay na maibibigay dahil po sa ganitong klaseng pong arrangement ng accepting LGUs. Sana hindi po ito nagagamit at hindi ito nagagamit na requirement para sa sending of local government. Salamat po.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we take note of the manifestation of the good Congressman, although the annex that she mentioned is only a sample computation, no, depending on the situation of the informal settlers.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair.
Yusek. Thank you, Honorable Revilla.
Just a reiteration, sir, it is being used by the accepting LGU. So I hope you could give us a letter so we could use this as a basis in negotiating with the accepting LGU. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, we will do that, Honorable Congressman.
Once again, thank you, Yusek. Thank you, Honorable Revilla. We now go to Honorable the Vice Chair, Eric Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Secretary of the DILG. Good afternoon, sir, and to all the DILG family. At the current police to civilian ratio, ano po ang computation natin? 1:2?
Mr. Chairman, sir, the police to civilian ratio, sir, the computation is 1:500.
The present?
Yes, sir.
Yung actual 1:500,
500, sir.
1:500?
One policeman for every 500
Is that the
population.
actual or the ideal?
The ideal. The ideal, sir.
I mean the actual.
The actual, sir, is by next year, sir, the police to population ratio would be 1:496 police to population ratio, sir.
The ideal is 1:500. I'm asking for the actual, meaning right now. So it is 1:400. So
Yes, sir.
we're way past the
1:496.
ideal police to civilian ratio.
Yes, sir.
So if we could fill up all the positions next year, what will be the ratio?
I think this computation actually, sir, is being adjusted because when we say 1 is to 400 or 1 is to 496 right now, it includes from the chief PNP down to the different regional offices. But when we say it should be ideal, sir, the ideal is the actual policemen on the field or on the municipal police station, sir. So if we are going to recompute po ito, sir, hindi po actually 1 is to 496, sir. Because the original computation right now is kasama po kami, sir, na nasa headquarters, na nasa...
So meaning to say, sir, it is not really ideal, the policeman on the streets to civilian ratio. So
Yes.
it's not ideal at all as of this time,
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
So given we could fill up all positions next year, additional policemen as shown in your budget next year, this ratio of policeman on the street to civilian, the ratio would go down. Ibig sabihin, mas dadami, mas bababa ang
Yes, sir.
babantayan na civilian ng kada police natin on the street.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So, the reason of which I am asking that question, just a parochial concern in my city of Valenzuela. Hopefully, Secretary, we could request additional manpower so as to lower that policeman to civilian ratio in the city of Valenzuela. Just a parochial request. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll take note of it. We'll review our complement of manpower, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My second question, Vice Chair and Secretary, is first, I'd like to laud the efforts of our Northern Police District and the Valenzuela Police dahil po yung gunman ng isa naming barangay Kagawad ay nahuli na, yung parang mastermind. So things are really looking up sa pag-develop ng kaso. The reason of which I said that is the presence of CCTVs. Right now, I did my Google. New Delhi, India has the most number of CCTVs side by side with the number of individuals. Nahuli po yung mastermind because yung aming mga investigador did a backtracking of CCTVs and it took them 2 weeks. Atras. Merong government CCTV, merong private na CCTV, merong pumapayag na magpa-review, pag private, merong ayaw. So it was really a meticulous effort, pero nonetheless, nagawa nila. Ang tanong ko po, Secretary, what is our project in terms of this CCTV as a way of solving and preventing crimes? As I have said, napakalaking tulong po. In that 2 weeks na nag-backtrack sila, sinagalang nila. Kasi po, mas mahalaga kung yung CCTV natin ay of government-owned para yung backtracking seamless. Ang nangyari sa kanila noon, pag walang government CCTV-owned, private yung kakausapin, yung iba nagre-refuse. So, it was really painstaking in the part of investigative work. So, Secretary,
yes.
a plan next year or the long-term plan for CCTVs as a mode of solving crimes?
Well, it's like this, sir, no? When I was in MMDA, meron po silang CCTV talaga. Buong Metro Manila, buong EDSA. Ano po nito. I was then chairman. And I believe lahat ng LGU meron din. Ako naniniwala kung i-connect natin lahat ito, all of the CCTVs that we have right now, MMDA, lahat ng LGUs, baka pwede mag-piggyback na lang dito ang PNP. Mas makakatulong, magtutulungan. No? What is important are the applications. No? Kasi sa applications, kasi kung marami kang mas maraming TV, marami kang mga empleyado titingin sa TV, but you have a smart applications, mas maganda. No? So, mag-i-issue nga ako, I'll be meeting with the mayors if it's possible that sa PNP, ipipiggyback na lang namin yung existing, particularly if you're talking of Metro Manila here right now, yung sa MMDA, napaka-comprehensive po ng ginagawa nila ngayon. I've seen this project right now. Kasi kung meron na MMDA, meron LGUs, maglalagay pa kami, parang nagdodoble, nagtitriple tayo eh. What is important is to synchronize everything, sir, and have one.
Please, Secretary, kasi napakalaking tulong talaga.
Yeah, that's
Which
true.
reminds me of the movie Enemy of the State. We're in hot pursuit, talagang ginagamit, which is, alam naman natin, that's the movies. Pero in backtracking investigations and pwede nyo gamitin ng Metro Manila as NCR muna tayo, pilot
That's
area
true.
of this. We're in, naalala ko tuloy, nagkaroon ng terrorist attack sa London.
Yes.
It just took them 2 to 3 days to backtrack all. Kasi nga, tama kayo, Secretary, yung applications nila are interconnected. Binacktrack nila in a matter of 2 to 3 days na huli yung mga terrorists. So, in such a way, kaya ko lang po na i-float yung idea na yan, CCTVs and common applications for all. And you could use NCR as a model for such.
Well, and to add to this, Congressman, is that merong ordinances ang ibang LGUs requiring, let's say, banks, pawn shops, na magkaroon talaga ng CCTVs, no? So, ang laking bagay din kung ito'y lahat konektado at lahat tumutulong, no? So, hindi na kailangan magdoble-doble. If we exhaust everything, no? Basta magkatulungan lang ang lahat, tingin ko, mas maganda po iyon eh. Yun po ang beauty po nito. At yun po ang ginagawa ng office po ngayon.
Sige po.
Thank you po.
So, Secretary, we'll just follow up with you in the future.
Yes, sir.
Please explore this. So,
Yes, sir.
Kasi napakahalagat na napakaganda
I totally
ng
agree.
technology, the use of technology.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Vice Chair, that would be it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Martinez. Secretary, thank you. We now go to Honorable Representative Rufus Rodriguez on Zoom. Honorable, okay. Please unmute Honorable Rodriguez.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Joboy Aquino, our neighbor from Agusan. First, let me greet the Honorable Secretary of the Department of Interior and Local Government, Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. We thank you, Secretary, for visiting again the Oro City. You're not an armchair secretary. You've been going to the different places and cities of the Philippines. You are really a proactive secretary. And all the members of the family of the DILG. My first question, Sir Chairman, if you allow me, will be to the Philippine National Police Chief Police General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. My question, Mr. Chairman, is this. First, has the good secretary been able to see the good PNP chief that first, there is a need for additional funds to finish the Region 10 headquarters?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. Actually, sir, the Police Regional Office 10 Regional Police Officer is part of the Convergence Fund funded by the DPWH through its TCAS program, sir. When I visited the Police Regional Office 1 last year, sir, napansin ko na rin po yun, sir, and we really tried to negotiate, sir, kung pwede namin po siyang hanapan ng pondo. And the DPWH said na may pondo naman po yun, medyo na bin-bin lang po yung continuity ng project, sir. But we had been coordinating with DPWH Region 10 para matapos na po yung regional headquarters ng Police Regional 10, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you, General Azurin. Let me tell you that you have outstanding regional directors that have been assigned to Region 10. First, we have General Ben Acorda, a man of integrity and action. He presided over a safe and peaceful elections last May. And then we have now, and we are very happy to have General Lawrence Poop, who has always also had coordinated with me, and precisely I am appealing on their behalf. They are now holding office at the residence. It should be in the Region 10 headquarters, but with your promise that you're going to take this up with Public Works and hasten the headquarters to be finished and to be usable by our regional officers. You also have a very good city director in the name of Colonel Aaron Mandia, who responds to all the immediate needs for peace and order of our city. The next question, PNP Chief Azurin, is the headquarters before of the PNP was almost, it's in Carmen, Cagayan de Oro, was almost fenced because we did not pay the owners. So can you see the embarrassment? I was able to call the owner not to fence it because can you imagine the police being fenced out of this area? So they need about 30 million to pay so that we will have the title in the name that is the Maharlika Station in Cagayan de Oro, the first headquarters before we transferred to the city center. Can we have the 30 million to pay Mr. Wing Wing Roa, owners of the property where the PNP stands right now?
Mr. Chairman, sir, we'll try to find ways on how to pay the 30 million we are supposed to pay the owner, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you. Next, have you received my communications to the request of our regional advisory group for transformation, police transformation development, of which I am a member, is requesting very urgently 28 million for the communications equipment so that our PNP regional office can reach all the borders of Region 10 and also go to the police stations of Region 10. Can you help us get secure in this budget for 2023, 28 million to finish the communication system of Region 10 PNP?
Mr. Chairman, sir, we only have about 2 billion for our capability enhancement program that is being earmarked for the needs on the enhancement of our equipment, that is to include our move, shoot, communicate, and investigate capability. So on the part of the communication requirement, we have program for the procurement, for the continuous procurement of our communication equipment, and we'll try, sir, how many radio are earmarked for Police Regional Office 10 after the delivery of the equipment has been made by the winning bidder, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you very much, General Azurin. And lastly, we are requesting for 5 police cars, 2 for the regional office, 1 for the Cagayan de Oro Mobile Patrol, and we have also the Cagayan de Oro Safety Patrol and Cagayan de Oro Traffic Control. Can we also get those 5 vehicles for Region 10 and the City of Golden Friendship, Cagayan de Oro?
Again, Mr. Chairman, sir, for next year, we have about 461 mobile patrol for procurement for the whole Philippine National Police, sir. Siguro, sir, maganda, sir, dito, gaya nung ginagawa po ninyo, if we can give 2 police cars, sir, we can allocate to Police Regional Office 10. Dati, sir, ang ginagawa nyo, yung nagbibigay kayo ng parang counterpart, sir. So that medyo mabigyan po natin kaagad ng patrol car yung mga pangangailangan po, sir, ng inyong region, sir.
Thank you very much. Cars for Region 10 and cars for Cagayan de Oro Police Office. Thank you very much, General Azurin. I now go to the BJMP with the Chief Alan Iral. My question to the BJMP is that the Lumbia jail has already thousands of inmates, and the difficulty of shutting them to their hearings in Cagayan de Oro and Misamis Oriental. Can we ask for 2 additional prisoners, 1 for the Cagayan de Oro, for Lumbia, for Region 10? For Lumbia jail.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Yes, for Region 10, we will provide, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Another correct answer. You know, we have a string of correct answers from the PNP chief and now from the BJMP. Thank you so much. Now to my question to the Bureau of Fire Protection, our Chief Louis Puracan. Chief of the BFP, can you give us at least additional for next year, not 20, but two fire trucks for Cagayan de Oro City to be assigned to barangays which have already buildings for fire stations, however, without any fire trucks, Mr. Chairman.
Sir, we will consider that, sir.
Consider is not as definite as what our PNP chief
Honorable
said,
Rodriguez,
and BJMP.
please wind up.
Yes, I will wind up one more after this commitment from our Bureau of Fire Protection, because we need it. Cagayan de Oro is really becoming bigger and bigger with more population.
Yes, sir, we will provide, sir.
Thank you. That is the answer. Now, my last question, Mr. Chairman. Yan. Now, my last question, my good friend, Mr. Chairman, is now to Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. How much was your proposal to DBM for 2023, and how much was given in the NEP for 2023? May we know?
Our proposal was 296 billion, and what was given was 251 billion.
So 296 billion, correct?
Yes, sir. 296
Honorable Rodriguez, your time is up.
So I will now manifest, Mr. Chairman. I manifest that the representative of the 2nd District supports and moves for the approval of the entire budget of the LG, including the PNP, BGMP, and Bureau of Fire Protection, and that what is lacking here, about 45 billion, be restored to the budget of the DILG, because we see Secretary Abalos to be a proactive leader and will bring the DILG and all
we will take
to
note
a greater height. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
of your manifestation, Honorable Rodriguez. Thank you very much, Honorable Rodriguez. Thank you, Secretary. We now go to Vice Chair Christopher De Venecia. We go to Deputy Speaker Democrito Mendoza.
Thank you, Chair. Mayang gabi. Mayang adlaw. Thank you. Mr. Secretary, once again, good afternoon. Ang tanong ko lang po is, as a trade unionist at the same time as a labor leader, president of TUCP, how do you ensure that all police actions are following the protocol and rules of engagement, specifically in trade union-related activities and industrial peace? Para bang, how do you intend to ensure that all PNP actions will follow the rule of law, Mr. Secretary?
We'll have the PNP answer this. It's a police matter.
Mr. Chairman, sir, may I request again for the question po?
Ganito na lang, sir. You know, there was an incident last November last year, no, as president of TUCP, and then Police General Elizar, it's actually in the newspapers. I think this is the pnp.gov.ph, in which directed an investigation to the alleged harassment done by police officers to the compound, our compound here in Quezon City, near the City Hall. Information reaching Kamkrami stated that 6, which is true, police officers allegedly went to TUCP compound November 2 without permission and search warrant. The cops supposedly took pictures, a daily attendance sheet, and interrogated the staff of our union. So, fast forward, boss, sir, sabi ni Eliasar na I have tasked the CIDG, Quezon City, to look into the allegations against our personnel. your personnel. Kailangan matukoy ang mga personnel na nagtungo sa opisina ng TUCP, our office. Now, he retired 1 week after that. And he said further, he will determine if protocols were followed by the police officers when they went to the compound. And he vowed to personally monitor and update the investigation of this incident. Are you aware of this, sir? And if ever, what is the update considering that wala na si General Elizar? And it is also redound to red tagging. Kasi kami naman, for crying out loud, TUCP has been in Quezon City and throughout the Philippines as a labor organization. So I wish that there should be no stereotyping. We are a legitimate labor organization, and we have companies to prove that, and malaking company of us. Please
Mr.
proceed,
Chairman,
sir.
sir, the process really is that you need a search warrant.
I know that process,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
but I just need, if you are aware of this, and kung may update na kayo, kasi last year pa ito eh.
Sir,
After this, walang na, we did not get a report, and just an update lang, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll give you an update, sir. Actually, I'm not aware of that, sir, because I was in a different position last year. But we'll try to secure, sir, kung ano na po ang update ng incident po na yan, sir. And we'll submit it before the plenary, sir.
Yes, sir. General Aspin, hindi naman sa panahon mo nangyari ito, but then again, it's almost a year lang, and we just need to be kung sino yon. And I hope that all men of uniform here will respect also human rights, will respect also trade union rights. Na hindi naman ganyan. In fact, as I said, TUCP has been there for a long time. Now, that being said, I hope that PNP, which of course has a lion's share of the budget of the DILG, what provisions, programs rather, undertaking to further professionalize the police force. You've seen now that we're actually being sort of, as I already mentioned kanina, di ba? So, how do you professionalize police force, particularly in being sensitive to human rights and, of course, the rule of law? Trade union rights, sir.
Sir, we also conduct lecture seminars on all our policemen, sir. We also invite human rights lawyers, sir, to lecture our PNP officers whether ito po yung mga bagong recruit or ito po ay yung mga datihan ng police. And it's always been a part of the mandatory courses being offered to our policemen from as they join in the training from the basic, advanced, and officer senior executive courses po, sir. So lagi pong may module po ng human rights module po dun, sir, to keep reminding our PNP officers the respect of human rights to everyone po.
Thank you, sir. That is very assuring, Mr. Secretary and General. I hope that that will continue because we want to be, and usually TUCP has always been a social partners with our men of uniform, especially in the PNP. In fact, we were the ones who actually, yung ILO Convention 151, which is public sector unionism. And I have a bill also, which is for the non-uniform personnel, to give them also maraming rights. But then again, that being said, and I hope that men in uniform will respect yung mga sa manggagawa. Lastly, sir, DILG doing combat and prevent red tagging. I hope once again, hindi naman stereotype lahat kasi kami naman trabaho namin yan to protect workers' rights. Profiling, especially in relations to trade unionism. Consider, for instance, continuing trade union objections, kami, even internationally, we also are member of the International in Trade Union Movement, the so-called Joint Industrial Peace and Concern Office, the JIPCO. We had several meetings and hearings before. before you, sir, now called the Alliance for Industrial Peace and Program, AIPP, in PESA zones. Considering that the AIPP program, setting up police stations and police patrolling and export processing zones, police lecturing workers on the dangers of trade unionism, which you have assured us that that is not supposed to happen, and they should not because they are constitutional rights, all have a chilling effect on the workers' right to freedom of association and the right to seek collective bargaining. So that alone, General, sir, and Mr. Secretary, is a statement by itself. You don't have to answer that. And I just hope that this so-called, meron ba ito, is still existing, the Alliance for Industrial Peace and Program?
Mr. Chairman, sir, yun po, sir, is binalik po sa jeep ko, sir. Yung industrial peace, that is the project, sir, of the former DPCR po namin, sir. Yung advocacy group, sir, kasama po dyan yung industrial peace zones po, sir.
Exactly, sir. So, kami naman, we really in support. I hope that yung JEPCO will not be resurrected once again, but this Alliance for Industrial Peace and Program. May I reiterate lang, General, of course, Mr. Secretary, that respect the human rights. Kami naman, when we go for collective bargaining and when we organize, ganyan man talaga ang buhay sa TUCP. And I'm just wearing a different hat, not as a deputy speaker, but also concerned for other groups, not only for TUCP, but other labor unions. We don't like to be stereotyped, Mr. Secretary. It's just like you in men in uniform that you'll be stereotyped as such. Alam naman natin sometimes, we tend to say, ano yung police? No, we should not. So that being said, sir, thank you very much. Mr. Chair, no further question. Looking forward, once again, TUCP working with the PNP and of course the DILG, sir. Salamat.
Rest assured that we will respect human rights. Rest assured, and all of those things about the rights of person, search warrant, this will be in accordance with the oath we have undertaken in accordance with the Constitution, sir.
Yes,
Rest
sir.
assured. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Secretary, particularly trade union rights.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chair.
The chair will now call Deputy Minority Stephen Tan for his interpellation. Deputy Minority Leader Stephen Tan. The chair will now recognize Congressman Jojo Lara. Congressman Paul Dasa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon to everyone. I think we are very happy that the President chose the best and brightest men and women, and DILG is no exception. So I think we got started on the right foot with the right people, at least at the DILG. First of all, I saw a budget, a fiscal allocation for LGU engagement regarding ease of doing business. I wanted to share to the good secretary that in the 17th Congress, we passed the Ease of Doing Business law, created the ARTA, which is the Anti-Red Tape Authority, under Office of the President. So I wanted to ask a short report. What sort of intervention or engagement does DILG do with the LGUs and also with the anti-red tape authority, which is, I mentioned, under the Office of the President.
Mr. Chair, good afternoon once again to everyone. On the part of the DILG, Mr. Chair, we have conducted capacity building interventions for all our local government units, particularly in mainstreaming their systems and processes to be compliant to the provisions of the Ease of Doing Business and the Anti-Red Tape Act. Right now, we are assessing their compliance, and we will be furnishing the committee a report on the assessment that we have conducted.
Sir, if I might add, for the ease of doing business, we have now tried to benchmark the permits for telecom towers, infrastructures. We've already sent out memos to all the LGUs. What are the pending permits, if they have denied this or approved this, and if they have denied this, what is the reason for this? Because what is important for us right now will be the Wi-Fi speed, and telecom infrastructure is very much needed by our country. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I support that 100%. I just want to make sure that we spend resources efficiently. The ARTA is now, through legislation, really in charge. So I just want to make sure that DILG and the relevant office within your department is coordinating with the ARTA.
Well, yes, sir. As of the report right now with telco applications, we've got 6,734 permits approved by 637 LGUs. And about 1,833 permits are still pending in 208 cities and municipalities. We're trying to follow this up.
Yeah. The new law empowers ARTA to file cases. We now have, as you know, the 21-day rule. So thank you for that, Mr. Chair. I think this is critical part of nation building to make our offices more efficient and to help not just private citizens but businesses that are doing business. Another item, I want to help the DILG, especially the new secretary. We have a report that there were over 445 prior years COA recommendation. I'm not sure if the secretary has been briefed. There's still about 160 items in the COA recommendations that have yet to be implemented. So you're just getting started. We want to make sure that you're familiar with that and you will address those COA recommendations.
Yes, sir. Probably our finance USEC here, Esther, could answer this, ma'am, please.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, we have already satisfied some of the findings of the COA. And as a matter of fact, for the past 2 years, we have an audit opinion of unmodified opinion. So with that alone, sir, we were able to provide the actions taken, management actions taken required of us for all of these findings.
Is it correct there's still about 160 recommendations to be implemented?
Mr. Chair, I don't have the actual number as of yet, but based on the prior years' recommendations, we have complied substantially in 2020 and in 2021. That's why we were able to have that audit opinion of unmodified, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'm satisfied, Mr. Chair, just as long as all the officials are aware of that. Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask the BFP, when promises are made, when commitments or assurances are made, should they be fulfilled?
With the permission of the Secretary, sir, we have previous commitments during the past administration regarding the distribution of fire trucks. And as we all know, sir, there were some, may kulang na lang kami sa iba naming commitments.
Is that a yes, I guess, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So promises are made. Can we expect they be fulfilled soon, especially when those assurances were made last year around the same time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll comply, sir.
May I request a PNP report and how they actually do the quota system in the hiring? I'm particularly interested in Region 8. So not to waste time, could we request, Mr. Chair, a report for the last 2 years on the hiring in Region 8 and the distribution on a per province?
Okay, so you're done, Kong?
Could we get an affirmation
Okay,
from the
so,
PNP?
yes, may we get a comment from...
Yes, sir. I will submit a report, sir, on the hiring po ng personnel sa Region 8, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to ask BFP or the DILG, we've noticed that, which is good, BFP, at least in my area, and I think nationwide, have been hiring nurses and emergency medical technicians, EMTs. In my area, there's a good number. Has the DILG or BFP made any plans to equip them with the right vehicles, ambulance equipment, so that we can empower them to maybe do more emergency medical response? Because the LGUs usually have a hard time doing the emergency response. But in my area, I noticed there are many EMTs. Do you have any thoughts on that, on a national scale or on a regional scale?
Actually, sir, we have right now in our program procurement for vehicles, and equipments regarding this.
Any plans to converge with the LGUs so we can leverage the many, many good people in BFP, the EMTs and the nurses? Don't stop my, I stopped talking and do your stopwatch.
No, it's okay.
Sir, regarding the Bureau of Fire Protection, sir, actually, sir, we have more nurses. The BEP has more nurses than the whole of the UH. And most of our recruits, we have around 7,000 nurses now. And because of that, sir, under EO 56, which mandated the emergency medical services and the 911, we will operate now the emergency medical services pursuant to EO 56. And in our budget proposal, sir, we included the purchase of 6 ambulances. And hopefully, sir, we can cover all over the country because of the need for more ambulances. And we are doing this, sir, in coordination with the LGUs.
Very good to hear that. Last one, dear
Yeah,
Secretary.
one last, Kong
Yeah.
Paul Dasa.
Could you take a look? There seems to be too many national conventions, and it's depleting funds of our LGUs, the barangays. I hope that you will take a look into that as a suggestion and rationalize, because we need to save those funds other than the trips taken to various areas in the country. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Congressman Dasa. Actually, in every fund of the local government unit, there are mandated expenses. It's already tailor-fit for them. It's up to them on how they spend this, but as long as it is within those mandated by law. But there are some that are really discretionary on them. But of course, they're covered by COA rules on this. It's quite strict, sir. But rest assured, we will always continue on monitoring about these things. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Representative Paul Dasa, Senior Deputy Minority Leader. So next to be recognized is from the majority. May the chair now. May the chair now recognize the Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Marlene Primicia Sagabas.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Most of my questions were already asked this morning, and most of my parochial concerns were already addressed. But I would like to take this opportunity, Madam Chairman, to state on record that as far as the 6th District of Pangasinan, Madam Chairman, I had a meeting with the mayors of our district, and iisa po ang sentimiento ng aming mga mayors. My district is composed of first class, second class, third class, fourth class municipalities. Sir, hindi raw po nila kaya talaga ang devolution. Isang first class sa amin po, ang 20% development fund niya ay 36.3 million. Sir, 33 barangays, may elementary at may high school. Ang 2-story, 4 classrooms po ay 25 million. So talaga pong mahihirapan po talaga sila sa devolution. And I know, sir, I would like also to take this opportunity to congratulate you. We are very proud of you having your roots in Tayo, Pangasinan. So I know with you at the helm of DILG, DILG is in good hands. So congratulations, sir. I also would like to take this opportunity to congratulate our dear PNP Chief, General Azurin. Sir, former Regional Director po ng Region 1, maraming salamat po sa tulong niyo sa distrito at sa buong Region 1. At sa ngayon nga po, I know with you as the head of PNP is also in good hands. So, yun lang po. And, sir, nakausap ko po ang mga tao ninyo sa regional office. I know, napaka-konti po ng mga tao sa field ng DILG. But, isa po ang DILG, despite the fact na kakunti po ang mga tao niyo sa baba, damang-dama po namin ang tulong at suporta ng bawat isa. So, maraming salamat. Papalakpakan ko po kayo dyan in behalf of our district. And to PNP, sir, again, sa regional director po namin bago, I would like also to mention his name, kay General Tamayo, sa provincial director namin po, OIC po siya ngayon sa Panged. So, maraming salamat din po sa lahat ng sakripisyo ng ating kapulisan para lang po magkaroon ng katahimikan, peace and order sa ating pong bansa. Congratulations din po sa inyo. Maraming salamat. And sa Bureau of Fire, General Puracan, thank you very much. Matagal po kaming humingi ng fire truck. After so many years, yung pinakamalaking bayan po sa amin, ang truck po niya ay 1950 pa. Talagang sira-sira na. Pero sa awa ng Diyos, itong taon po na to, nabigyan na rin po sila sa wakas. So maraming salamat. And then sa Bureau of Jail, BJMP po, maraming salamat din po. At kahit paano ho, ay naumpisahan na rin po ang fence ng BJMP sa bayan po ng Balungao. So again, as just like the other congressmen na nagmanifest po kanina ng support sa budget ninyo, in behalf of the 6th District of Pangasinan, sir, I also manifest the support of the people of the 6th District of Pangasinan to your budget. And I know for a fact, malaki po ang na-slash. So I joined the other congressmen at the proper time and opportunity to manifest also my support for the restoration of your budget. Yun pong na-slash. Sana nga po, magawa po yun. So again, sa inyo pong lahat, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagmamahal at sakripisyo sa ating bayan. Thank you very much po.
Sobrang salamat po, Congressman Agabas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Majority Leader Marlene Primicia Sagabas. Next to be recognized is Representative Roman Romulo. Is Representative Roman Romulo with us? If the representative is not around, so may I recognize the Representative Ferginel Biron.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And good afternoon to the DILG family, headed by our distinguished Secretary, former colleague, Secretary Benhor Abalos. This representation expresses his utmost confidence on the leadership of our new Secretary. We know that he is more than competent, honest, and questionable integrity in instituting reforms in his department. Having said that, Madam Chair, I would like to raise some issues and concerns with two
particular agencies under the DILG. One of them is the PNP, and the other one is the Bureau of Fire Protection. So let me start, Madam Chair, with a few inquiries with our new Chief PNP, General Azurin. General Azurin, may I know, when were you appointed by the President?
Mr. Chairman, sir, I was appointed by the President last August 1, 2022, but I took my office August 3, 2022.
Thank you, General. Prior to your appointment as Chief PNP, what was your position?
Mr. Chairman, sir, I was formerly the Area Police Commander of the Northern Luzon, of which before that I was also the Area Police Commander of Southern Luzon, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you, General. At any point in your police career, have you ever been a regional director of any regional office?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I was the I was the former regional director of Police Regional Office 1 or the Ilocos region po.
All right, thank you, General. As a former regional director of Region 1, this representation would like to assume that you are very much aware of the guidelines set by the PNP leadership with respect to assigning or transferring police personnel. May I know, General Azurin, if you can elaborate or enlighten this committee on the guidelines set by the PNP leadership with respect to assigning or transferring a police personnel from one police station to another?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir. One of the powers of the Chief PNP in assigning police personnel is laid down in Section 26 of Republic Act 6975, which is the Chief PNP has the prerogative, sir, to assign, deploy, or transfer the assignment of PNP personnel po, sir.
General, can you be more specific? Under what circumstances can a police personnel be moved from one regional assignment in a particular regional office to another regional office? Under what circumstances?
For instance, sir, for police officers, sir, like if we are talking of the provincial director, sir, if they have been a provincial director for at least 6 months and a maximum of 2 years, then they can be replaced in their designation and reassigned to another station po.
So this is customary for police officers, right? For police officials, from a police provincial director to regional director. It's customary that these police officials or police officers are reassigned from, say, one region to another. So it's customary. May I know what are the circumstances that would warrant transfer of an ordinary police personnel, like, a sergeant, a PO1, PO2, PO3, these non-officers, what are the circumstances that would warrant transfer, say, from one region to another?
For the regular transfer of personnel, sir, they must have the accommodation from the unit that he will be transferred, and they must also have the authority or authority from the losing unit, sir, that they are being authorized to transfer from one office to the other, sir. with, of course, with the necessary clearances that they don't have any money or property accountability po.
Is it a normal happening, or in the PNP organization, that a particular police, say a sargento sa isang lugar, sa isang riyon, particularly like in Iloilo, move to Zamboanga? Yung tanong ko po, ano ang mga circumstances, what are the events that would trigger the transfer of a particular police personnel, a non-officer, from one region to another? Because what I know, when I researched with the National Police Commission, which I believe, I think our NAPOLCOM can enlighten this representation later, that even with police personnel facing administrative cases, they're not supposed to be transferred from one region to another. If ever a transfer is made, it is only confined within the same regional office. So ang tanong ko po, ano ang mga kadahilanan that will prompt or warrant a transfer of one police personnel, non-officer, na wala namang kaso, na ilipat natin sa isang riyon papunta sa malayong riyon? Ano po ang mga kadahilanan? What are the triggering events or circumstances that will prompt the PNP organization to handpick a particular police from one region, itatapon siya sa malayong rehiyon for no reason at all?
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes, may we get an answer from
yes,
the
sir.
PNP, and thank you very much,
Mr. Chairman, sir, maybe it's part of
5 minutes time.
it's part of the career advancement, sir. Maybe a senior officer got him to, kasi sir, usually sir, may mga officers din na kinukuha sir yung yung tao nila, kakilala nila, or kung minsan sir, may kasalanan yung police, at inilalagay po siya sir sa malayong lugar, for him sir to also know na being a policeman sir is you can be assigned anywhere in the country po, sir.
Madam Chair, with the indulgence of our Chair.
Okay,
I
we'll
will
just
reserve
give you one more
yes.
time.
I'll have to point out that our good general mentioned that kung may kasalanan siya, pwede siyang ilipat. So that would be, one of the grounds, right, for moving. But does it warrant that a case has to be filed and establish liability on the part of a police personnel, non-officer, before a transfer is made?
Not necessarily, sir, that he has a case or a case will be filed because kung minsan, sir, is meron tayong tinatawag, sir, na mga derogatory reports din po, sir, na kung saan ay kaysa kasuhan mo, sir, yung police, kung meron man, ay ililipat mo na lang, sir, for a while. For him, sir, na matandaan niya na napakaswerte po niya na siya po ay taga dyan, naka-assign siya, and yet, pag meron siyang ginagawang mali, compounded na kamalian, sir, ililipat po siya, sir, para sa ganun ay malaman po niya, sir, na he's very lucky po na being a policeman, naka-assign po siya dyan, sir, sa lugar niya. It happened po yan, sir, when I was the RD of Region 1. I relieved the entire policemen, sir, of San Juan and Cabugao dahil nga po medyo naging familiarized na po sila sa lugar na mukhang hindi na ho nararamdaman yung pagiging police nila, sir. And I sent them to training. After training po, yung iba ibinalik ko po doon, yung iba ay hindi na because they have stayed too long already in that particular area po.
So,
Okay, so I think your time is
okay,
up. I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, I will reserve
Yeah.
my privilege later on after everybody, kung pwede mag-second round mamaya. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Kong Biron. The next to be recognized is Vice Chair Christopher De Venecia. So we're up with, we're finished after you. We're done with the first round.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon to the DILG family. Of course, to Sec Ben, where is he here? I think he stepped out. Madam Chair, Madam Chair, may I suspend my time first because my first set of questions are for Sec Ben, where
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, yes. Is he?
Yeah,
Madam Chair.
anything.
Madam Chair.
What is it? Oh,
Madam
some
Chair.
Other questions maybe that could be answered by a USEC, or if you have a concern with the people.
Madam Chair, the Secretary just went out for necessity. He'll be back shortly. Thank you.
Okay, so we suspend the hearing or briefing. Health break. Okay, so briefing is resumed. Vice Chair De Venecia, may you continue?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, good afternoon, Sec Lenward. I want to thank you and, of course, the DILG family for all the support that you've been extending to our 5 LGUs in the 4th District of Pangasinan. In fact, Dagupan is, I think, undergoing their training right now for the newly elected officials program. So thank you for that. And, of course, you're a good friend of our family as well. My first question is actually on the SGLG. I was just wondering if there are any cultural or creative indicators or criteria in the obtainment of the SGLG, and if ever, what are these, Madam Chair?
Maybe get a response.
Yes, there are some for cultural, cultural sites like those that we're developing. Actually, tourism, heritage development, culture, and arts.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Good Secretary. So I was browsing the DILG Memorandum Circular 2017-133, which amended MC 2002-81. So the purpose of these memorandum circulars were really to strengthen the local culture and arts councils of every LGU in compliance with RA 7356 or the NCCA law, as well as RA 10066 or the Heritage Code. So I was just wondering, Madam Chair, if the DILG, through the leadership of Sec Ben, is open to creating a regional program to strengthen our LCACs, something maybe similar to your program in your NEP, which strengthens the peace and order councils that has their own regional allocations, Madam Chair.
Well, I fully support that advocacy because I believe culture is a key ingredient, right now to our nationalism. It is who we are. We should develop that amongst our youth. We will fully support that under our leadership.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Secretary, music to my ears. Thank you so much. But in connection as well, can we also enjoin the DILG to issue a new memorandum circular to update MC 2017-133 and reflect indicators in our newly enacted law, the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, in which perhaps the MC can reflect membership to the Philippine Creative Cities Network and also updating the composition of the LCAC to also include a representative from the newly established government agency called the Philippine Creative Industries Development Council, which is attached to the DTI. Madam Chair.
Well, we will take note of that and coordinate with this agency, sir.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much. Next question, Madam Chair. What are the DILG indicators for LGU competitiveness? And how can we synergize this with President BBM's direction of branding through tourism and creative industry, which he mentioned in his first State of the Nation address? Madam Chair.
The indicators are resiliency, infrastructures, government efficiency. Yeah.
So that's good to know, Madam Chair. Perhaps maybe we can update the indicators to also include livability. I believe the NEDA in the last Friday session reflected livable and sustainable cities
Yes.
as part of the medium-term agenda of the...
I will personally support that.
Thank you
It
po.
should be an indicator. Yes.
Thank you, good Secretary and Madam Chair. Actually, there are a lot of ideas for the creative agenda that I'd love to personally discuss with the Secretary. Perhaps at his convenience, we can schedule a courtesy call to discuss all of these programs, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you. My next question, Madam Chair, is for the BFP. Thank you for all the support that you've been extending to the Gupan and to our other LGUs. We might need to upgrade the facility though in the Gupan City because I believe it was one of two BFP headquarters that are one story and are in need of modernization. So perhaps we can lobby for some kind of funding for the upgrading of the facilities as well as I think a fire truck for that BFP headquarters as well, considering, Madam Chair, that Dagupan is a highly urbanized city in the north.
Yes, sir, we will do that, sir.
And Madam Chair, I also messaged Sir Burakan, if you could also kindly reply to my message. Thank you. My next question, Madam Chair, is for the Local Government Academy. Would the LGA be open to tailoring a program for the Philippine Creative Cities Network similar to the Climate Change Adaptation and DRRM program to help LGUs enhance their competitiveness through culture, creativity, and tourism, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, Your Honor, we are open to really expanding our program on the building competitive and sustainable cities.
Thank you. That's good to know, Madam Chair. Because like the CCA and DRRM capacity building for LGUs has a 76 million budget. Maybe we can extend some of it or create a new budget, if not in the NEP this year, maybe the succeeding NEP for creative industry capacity building. Thank you.
We'll consider that, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Madam Chair, my next question is for the NYC to our friend and former colleague, Congressman Cardama, now Secretary. So we'd just like to find out the current completion rate of LGUs with regards to the Local Youth Development Plan vis-a-vis the total LGU population. Because I think we have 146 cities and 1,000, Tama ba? 1,400 municipalities. So total of 1,600 plus LGUs. So of that total population, ilan na po yung nakapag-complete ng local youth development plan? Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, regarding
Okay, I
the...
think your time is up.
Yeah, that was my last question.
But may we hear an answer or comment from the DILG?
Madam Chair, regarding the comment of Kong Tof de Vedesha, we'd like to collate the said data and submit it within the hour to your officer.
Thank you so much, Chair Cordema. Thank you, Madam Chair. And
So-
again, big thank you to the DILG family. You have been very, very helpful to our district, and we will support all of
Okay.
your initiatives. Thank you, Madam
So
Chair.
thank you also,
Thank you, sir.
Vice Chair.
Thank you.
For the Benicia.
Thank you.
So we're done with the first round. We're now in the second round. All the members who are listed here will just be given 2.5 minutes to interpolate. So the first, of course, is from the minority. The majority, the minority, Deputy Minority Leader, Mujib Hataman, is now recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Magandang hapon po. Is National Commission on Muslim Filipinos here? Right, yan. Thank you. As I go over here, your budget is National Commission on Muslim Filipinos. Uy, sana to. Sana. Bumaba ang budget nyo ng 3%, right? Anong programs yung apektado doon?
With the indulgence of our Secretary, Madam Chair, Your Honor, ang nabawasan po sa amin basically is one, yung aming IT program. Supposedly by next year, we will be having our increase in the IT budget. Second, yung pong aming Hajj attaché na 15 million has also been removed. And finally po, yung aming mga regional offices, yung aming mga proposed programs po, nabawasan din po. Resulting to a 744 million budget for the National Commission.
Special Provisions number 1 on page 360 volume 2 of NEP 2023 state that advance payment by pilgrims and local and foreign donations received to cover expenses for the annual Hajj shall be recorded as trust receipt, right? In accordance with EO number 338 as implemented by COA DBM DOF Joint Circular number 7. Magkano yung foreign donations meron kayo last year, 2022? Anong sinasabi rito na merong 37.46 million?
Sir, Your Honor, Madam Chair, on record po, wala pa kami na-receive na foreign donation. What we have last year is the PCVE budget from the
PCVE.
United Nations, sir. I think a total of 21 million. No, sir. It's actually from the United Nations, the UNDP, funded by the Japanese government. Pero hindi po siya foreign, sir. It was coursed through the UNDP in the Philippines. No, sir. Ano pa?
Locally funded?
Sir, pagka foreign donation pa, we need to get the approval of the NEDA.
Sa NCMF, ano talaga yung reason ng problem nung nakaraang pilgrims? Kasi kaya ko nire-raise lang to. Kasi just last week, around 11 sheikhs went to my office. Siyempre, masyado silang apektado dahil hanggang ngayon sinisingil ata sila ng hotel dyan sa May Malate. At pinangakuan ng NCMF na parang ito cover ng NCF yung payment nun dahil parang hindi nila kasalanan. Despite na nagbayad sila ng earlier, pero at the end of the day, parang nagkaproblema ata sa visa issuances. Of which, yung pilgrims ay andito na sa Manila na naka-check-in.
Your Honor, Madam Chair, yung pong dahilan ng ating Hajj stranded pilgrims, the Secretary, upon the occurrence of the event, created a fact-finding team The purpose of which is to inquire on what happened, the narrative of the problem. Ang nangyari po, sir, is we have identified, which I vice chair the committee, 5 reasons po nangyari yung ganong stranded pilgrims. Una, the very limited time afforded to the Commission to prepare for the Hajj. We have to take note that April 15 was the date announced by the Saudi government for the start of the Hajj. Second, because of the occurrence of the new Hajj systems, rules and procedures, na hindi po preparado ang Commission to address that because there has been no conduct of Hajj delegation, which normally being done by December of the year, prior year. Third, we have the technical difficulties incurred by the Commission, yung pong ating portal. Number 4, yung po yung the Commission's lack of control over yung flights po ng mga pilgrims. So to give an example, ang date po namin supposedly is June 18, the first flight of the pilgrims. Nung June 15 and 16, may dumating po ng mga pilgrims, and then they insisted on leaving for Saudi Arabia. So anong nangyari po, sir, since they avail of the Hajj promo flights na cheaper and cannot be refunded, so the Commission was forced to let the pilgrims leave with the Hajj visas, thereby resulting to the problems of the succeeding pilgrims po. And I think, and finally, one of the problem is the lack of bargaining power of the Commission. Sir, tayo lang po yung government na pupunta ng Saudi. Wala po tayong dalang pera para po ipagbabayad sa mga accommodations beforehand. What we go there, we just give our commitment, our promise, and then po we start paying them on the day of the Hajj per se, nung nagbayad na po yung mga pilgrims natin.
I think, Your Honor, just for the record and your information, I think we can discuss this thoroughly during the committee hearing of the Committee on Muslim Affairs because this representation filed a resolution to conduct review on the performance of pilgrims for next year. Last na lang po sa PNP kasi naubos na ang time ko. Last. Sir, ito talagang even during my 12, 13, 14 Congress, talagang laging nangyayari ito sa mga Muslim communities. Yung pag-aresto ng mali, pwede kong sabihin mali, dahil in fact meron ng mga cases. In fact, in July 2021, alam naman ho natin noon may mga policemen na dinismiss si General Salazar. Di ba dahil doon sa desecration, yung pagsunog ng jeweler, parang trader ng jewel tapos nahanap. Meron akong 13 cases. Later siguro isasubmit ko with the permission of the Secretary kay Chief PNP. Parang hihingi na lang po ako ng reports para mabilis na lang yung discussion natin. Pero ang point na nais kong i-drive out, tingin ko dapat ma-address natin to. In fact, even yesterday, which minsan nagki-create ito ng imbes na kaayusan, talagang gulo, minsan nagki-create ng more rido sa mga communities namin. Halimbawa ho, yung mga jando ng kidnapping sa Sulu, kidnapping sa Basilan, this is on the campaign on terrorism. Ang dami hong naaresto na sa totoo lang, kahit ako maging saksi ho ako, talagang hindi ho involved ang mga ito. Isang example niyan yung inaresto sa Bacoor, na ang nag-raid doon parang joint effort ng NICA, NCRPO. Hindi pa ho nyo time, sir. Pero nire-raise ko lang to para hindi sana mangyari ulit. Dahil may ginamit ng warrant of arrest, sinaksak lang ang pangalan nung 11 ang nahuli, pero nirelease yung 4 dahil hindi Muslim. Lahat ng Muslim ay dinala sa bikutan at kinasuhan. Okay. Wala na ring magawang pamilya noon dahil talagang nakajando sila. Bigla na lang merong lumabas na mga witnesses. In fact, kahapon isang mayor na naman. Dating mayor ng Albarca. Parang meron atang isang commander ng Abu Sayyaf na nag-MILF na huli sa old cases. Pero of course, dinideny hindi siya involved. Dahil tinutulungan ng mayor, bigla na lang parang April, without his knowledge, biglang lumabas yung warrant of arrest 3 days ago. Hindi siya properly informed, walang subpina, magkaiba yung address sa warrant of arrest, pati yung sinasabi ng piskal na kung saan pinadala.
Thank you very much.
At ang masama pa rito,
Minority Leader.
Ma'am, last na to, kasi wala na rin sagot to. At ang masama ho nito, General Azurin, talagang ang naging witness pa rito ay anak ng Abu Sayyaf na hindi ko alam kung PNP ang may hawak nito. But anyway, sir, humihingi na lang po ako ng report. I'll give to you these documents at lahat ng fact sheet na dumating sa opisina ko. Magre-rely na lang ako kung ano yung internal investigation, no? And we can discuss this matter. Kasi ayoko lang mangyari ulit to, especially sa mga Muslim traders, mga tanim bala, tanim shabu, pero at the end of the day, hulid up ang labas. So yun lamang po, maraming salamat po sa
Thank
inyo.
you very much, Deputy Minority Leader Mujib Hataman. The
Thank you,
next
sir.
to be recognized is Deputy Majority Leader Wilter Palma. You have 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam
gentleman.
Chair. Mr. Secretary, I just want to be clarified. Yung bang barangay development program natin, is it under your department or Office of the President?
Magandang hapon po. No? Yung barangay development, support to barangay development program is a program being managed by
Sir,
the National Task Force to End
under ba
Local
sa inyo o
Communist
OP?
It's not, it's in the GAA, it's directly released to the municipalities and barangays, but it is being monitored by the Department of the Interior and Local Government. It's a initiative of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict.
I know that, sir. Sir, ang tanong ko lang, sino mag-implement? Is it the DILG or Office of the President?
Sir, the implementing agencies or the implementing units are the local government units.
Sir, sorry, sir. I was governor also for 9 years. Before I left, may mga projects kami ng BDP. Ang tanong ko ngayon, sino ang mag-implement? Is it the ILG or download the money to the local government units or Office of the President?
Sir, the funds are directly downloaded to the local government units. For 2021, the provisions in the General Appropriations Act was that it is to be downloaded to the provinces. For 2022, it's now being downloaded directly to the cities and municipalities.
Yes, sir. Mr. Secretary, can I just make a suggestion? When I left the province of Zamboanga, Sibugay, our performance is not quite good because first, we lack technical know-how. We cannot implement because of so many requirements that requires under the BDP program. So at the end, when I left June 30, more or less mga 25%, 30% pa lang. Sayang yung panahon. So if I may, Mr. Secretary, just to fast track, number one, technical know-how, design and engineering design, and so on and so forth. Okay. Number two that really hampers us is the free and prior PIC ng NCIP. Yun ang madugo. May I suggest if we could we will continue with the BDP, but may I suggest if we can let the DPWH handle the necessary bidding, the necessary construction, and so on, in order to fast track everything. Because if we give it to the local government units, I think it's a waste of time and money.
Actually, sir, maganda yung proposal ninyo, but under the General Appropriation Act, it's the LGU, hindi pa DPWH, unfortunately.
Yes, sir. That's for 2022.
Yes,
I'm talking of
yes, sir.
2023. Hindi pa naman tapos yung... We are still under deliberation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Eh, yung suggestion ko sana, in 2023, why don't we give it to the DPWH so that to fast track everything. Wala naman tayong interest, wala na rin kayong interest doon. So let them, kasi sila yung in charge as far as infrastructure is concerned.
Well,
Would that be possible, sir?
So
I
your time
agree
is
with you.
up.
Yeah, ma'am.
Deputy Majority
One
Leader.
more.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Because they've got this technical know-how.
Yeah, we will read during the plenary. One last, ma'am.
Okay.
This representation
But just a
would
brief
like
question,
to...
please.
Ma'am, one. this representation would like to fully endorse the budget of the DILG. And I'm so happy that the Department of Interior and Local Government is doing good, including its attached agencies, including its budget. Thank you very much, and may hapon sa tanan.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Deputy Majority Leader Wilter. And then the next to be recognized from the minority is Representative Raul Manuel. Is Representative Raul Manuel with us? So if none, then the chair will recognize Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro, the last for minority.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So sa DILG, Madam Chair, meron ditong budget for CORE, yung Constitutional Reform Advocacy Campaign na 30 million. So, pwede bang makahingi, Madam Chair, nung kanilang pinagkagastusan noong 2022 at 2021 nung 30 million at ano yung plano nila dito sa another 30 million for 2023, Madam Chair?
May we get an answer from the DILG?
We're just looking at our records, ma'am, about the numbers.
For the decentralization and constitutional reform for advocacy campaign, Madam Chair, we have a proposal of 30 million for 2023, and this 30 million will be used for the conduct of future summit, major events on the constitutional reforms, town hall meetings, and youth and CSO conventions. Also, the airing of episodes of the teleradio and public service program through TV, radio, and digital platforms, and the conduct of various capacity development interventions on constitutional reforms, Madam Chair.
So, Madam Chair, in the interest of time, pwede po bang mag-submit ang DILG yung utilization ng 30 million last year and their plan for 2023, Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Preparation for my question sa plenary. Madam Chair, kung sa BJMP po, so nabalitaan natin yung protest ng mga PDL sa Iloilo dahil sa kagutuman, korupsyon na nangyayari, at hindi ito hiwalay doon sa iba't ibang mga BJMP natin. Dahil sa kagutuman at meron pang commercialization sa loob ng BJMP, may mga co-ops na talagang pinahihirapan ang mga yung mga sino po ba yung nakikinabang dito sa mga co-ops na nasa loob, kasi ito yung nagpipigil para magdala yung mga kamag-anak ng mga PDLs natin, ng mga needed materials o kailangan na essentials ng mga PDL. Alam niyo po ba yung mga nangyayaring co-ops dito sa mga BJMP, Madam Chair?
Ma'am, before I turn the microphone to BJMP, I would like to inform you that I went personally to Iloilo to investigate it. And we immediately relieved the warden pending investigation to make sure that the hearing, there will be no pressure on any side. So as of this time, the warden has been relieved immediately to make way for an impartial investigation. And we made sure that everything from the food that the prisoners were complaining about, the food, everything should be in a very humane environment. So we welcome complaints about this, if there's any, and that is my order to the chief of the BJMP. Director Iral, can you please add more?
Yes, sir. Right now, there's an ongoing investigation of that incident in Iloilo to really find the truth. Kasi medyo nagulat din kami na for how many years na Ngayon lang sila nag-i-air ng problema nila dyan sa pagkain, and then they're also claiming na yung nabanggit mo, ma'am, na yung commissary doon sa loob. We are going to review our policy on this para ma-address yung concern regarding also the bringing of food. Yes, we allow really the paabot of food doon sa mga PDL natin, because we know for a fact that may mga PDL tayo na special yung diets nila which we cannot provide. Yung may mga medicines din na iba yung medicines nila, wala sa jail. So ina-allow namin yan. So with that recent incident na medyo nakalagay nga dyan, it's a microcosm of what happened in the entire jail system in the Philippines. So we have to revisit our policy on that, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pwede po bang yung investigation ay maging objective, no? Kasi nalalaman, may feedback kami, merong sinizero in na mga PDL dito. Kaya kailangan ay wala tayong ma-zero in na mga PDL dito. Dahil ito po ay ano talaga, no? Talagang problema ng lahat ng mga PDL. At hindi lang sa Iloilo, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, Secretary, pati sa iba't iba pang mga iba't iba pa nating mga BJMP. Magkano po ba yung budget natin sa food and medicine ng mga PDL? Kasi parang napansin ko 15 pesos per day ba? Tama ba yon? Ito ba ay makatao? Pagkain ba ito ng tao? Itong 15 pesos per day? Kasi katulad ng sinabi ni Secretary kanina, dapat maging humane, di ba? Sa ating mga PDL, Madam Chair.
Okay, you only have 8 seconds.
Yes,
Deputy Minority
Madam Chair.
Leader.
yes, Madam Chair, Your Honor, ang budget po natin sa pagkain is 70 pesos per day. Good for 3 meals po yan. Then doon na po natin kukunin yung fuel din, yung fuel. At so ngayon, the BGMP supports also the government's effort in yung pangalagaan natin yung environment. We do not use firewood and cooking food. We use itong mga LPG, gasol. So mahal na rin ngayon yung LPG. All these things, doon kukunin yan sa Really, medyo kulang talaga yung pagkain ng natin mga PDL. That's why we also allow yung paabot ng food subject to inspection ng mga guards natin sa jail.
Okay, Madam Chair, tama pala yung 15 pesos per day dun sa mga PDL. Anyway, Madam Chair, may I request that we could have from the minority special meeting with the BJMP. Kasi Madam Chair, ang dami pa namin talagang issue with the BJMP. Madam Chair ng minority block, nag-request po ng meeting with the BJMP. Madam Chair, with your permission.
Yeah, your time is expired, Madam Deputy Minority Leader. But with your request, we ask the BJMP maybe to... we'll just mag-usap na lang tayo.
Madam Chair, pwede po bang September 7, 4 p.m.?
Siguro you just make a schedule na lang, Deputy Minority Leader, with the BJMP.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have asked the permission na rin ng ating minority leader.
Mag-coordinate na lang kayo.
So, ang suggestion namin, Madam Chair, September 7, 4 p.m.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro. Next to be recognized, we go back to Representative Ferdinand Biron. You have 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam
And then
Chair.
the last will be,
Thank you for the 2.5
Vice Chair
minutes.
Jojo Lara.
With the indulgence of the Chair and the good Secretary. Yeah, few last questions. General Azurin, you said earlier that in the absence of any formal complaint or charge against any non-police officer, pwede siya ilipat pag may kasalanan siya.
Yes, sir. In some cases po, sir, pag may kasalanan siya, sir, o kaya matagal na po siya sa isang area and kailangan na po niyang mailipat naman po para maiba naman po ang kanyang environment, sir. Because as far as the PNP is concerned, sir, allowed naman po yun, sir, na ma-assign ka anywhere in the Philippines.
All right. So, in other words, it's by tradition or it's an unwritten rule that kahit wala there's no formal complaint, there's no administrative charge. You can always be transferred because that's customary on the part of the PNP organization na pwede kang ilipat. Meaning, the top management finds it convenient, ilipat ka from one region to another. So, ganon ang tradisyon sa loob ng PNP. Is that correct, General Azurin?
We don't call it tradition, sir, but that's the general rule, sir, para nga po, sir, medyo maging wider po ang horizon ng ating kapulisan. Hindi lamang po, sir, siya concentrated po sa isang lugar po, sir.
Yes, and the order, is it correct to say that transfer or orders would emanate from the Directorate of the Personnel Services of the headquarters? Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Okay, at this point, General, may I know who heads the personnel department of the PNP?
Right now, Mr. Chairman, sir, the head of the DPRM is Police Brigadier General Robert Rodriguez, Mr. Chairman, sir.
May I know from the good general if the head of the DPRM is around today? Is he here today in the plenary?
Mr. Chairman, sir, General Rodriguez is at the holding area, sir.
Okay, can I request the good general to come and answer a few questions? Can I request the chair to suspend my time? Pwede ba na yung personnel, ang head, ang DPRM ninyo po, pwede makasagot ng few questions?
Yes, sir, with the permission of our secretary, sir.
So, is the head of the personnel division under the PNP with the... Andyan ba siya?
He's being
Ah,
called
okay.
from the holding center, Madam Chairman, sir.
Is he or she with us?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so may we... Asan na siya? Okay, we'll just wait. So, meeting suspended. Asan ba siya? Where is the... Meeting is resumed. I think with us,
Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman,
Yes.
sir, the head of DPRM is already here, sir.
so may we request the general, the good general, to answer the query of Honorable Virginal Biron?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
General Rodriguez, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been the head of the DPRM?
Since May 15 this year, sir.
May of this year.
Yes, sir.
So you have only been in office for around 4 or 5 months. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will go straight to my question. Kanina, sinabi ni General Azurin that it is customary on the part of the PNP organization that even in the absence of any formal charge or any administrative complaint against a non-officer of a police force can be transferred from one station to another.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Pero sabi niya, it is an unwritten rule and it is customary, tradisyon, na kahit walang kasalanan or kung may kasalanan man na walang documentation, nililipat kasi may kasalanan. Tama?
Derogatory report, sir.
Derogatory report.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So kahit walang kaso, basta may derogatory report, nililipat.
Yes, sir, because the Philippine National Police is national in scope, sir.
All right. Now, I will go to a very specific question. As DPRM head, are you aware of your order dated August 10, transferring Master Sergeant Noriel Araneta Malones from PRO 6 to PRO 9? This is an order coming from your office.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you acknowledge that this order came from your office, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I made that check, sir.
All right. May I know, General Rodriguez, if you have relatives in my district, in Iloilo?
Yes, sir. I'm from Iloilo, sir. I'm from Haro. And my wife is from Anilao, sir.
All right. So your wife is from Anilao, which happens to be the place where this Master Sergeant Malones is stationed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what could have been the reason why there was an order or you ordered for his transfer from Region 6 to Region 9? Parang it's quite difficult for me to comprehend that orderan nyo yung police from PRO 6 to PRO 9 because as what I always understand, kung meron mang ililipat at the very least within the region. So based on what the Chief PNP said and the customary practices of the PNP organization, what prompted you or what is the legal and justifiable basis for transferring this helpless individual, Master Sergeant Noriel Araneta Malones, from Iloilo to Zamboanga, where he has no family at all? So this is a clear displacement of the habitat of the poor and helpless police being transferred from a fourth-class municipality to Zamboanga. May I know your answer, General Rodriguez?
Personally, sir, I do not know the policeman. I have no acquaintance with him. I have not talked to him personally. But said policeman seems to have a very there were reports that reached my office that he was what do you call this? The family of my wife, sir, he was pressuring, making reports. One of the husband of my the sister of my wife is also a policeman. And he was always making a report because he's an intel officer of Anilao, Iloilo. He was always making reports, false reports on against the husband of the sister of my wife, sir.
Okay, gentlemen, maybe we'll just give you 1 minute.
Yes, Madam
We have
Chair.
had so much already.
Yes. May I just want to get a categorical answer from the good general. Itong mga false accusations kalaban sa kamag-anak niyo po, is this enough reason or ground na dalhin ninyo ang isang ordinaryong sarhento, na walang kalaban-laban, just because he is being accused of making false accusations, na ilipat natin siya from Anilao to Zamboanga, which is a complete displacement of his life and his habitat. Yun ang tanong ko, General.
The very
Okay,
statement.
so that's your last question, Honorable Biron. So
What,
may we get an answer from
what triggered
the general?
this reassignment, sir, that because he challenged, he told people in Anilao, in the police station also, and what he told the policeman there reached me, saying that kung may general kayo, may lord ako. So that was the statement that he made, sir, doon sa...
Madam Chair, I just want to put it on record. So
Okay,
thank you for
pero
your
please,
indulgence.
wait,
Pero
you've had
tama
so
po.
much time
Oo,
already.
I will have to, undertake a separate venue for investigating this particular matter here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. General.
So, thank you very much. So now, may the chair now recognize the Vice Chairperson Jose Lara for his manifestation.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Of course, short manifestation lang, wala nang question to. I would just like to put it on record and on behalf of the people of the 3rd District of Cagayan, nagpapasalamat po kami sa buong suporta ng DILG, of course, sa pamunuan po ni Secretary Benhar Abalos. Sir, thank you very much. And kay PNP, thank you very much po sa suportang binibigay nyo sa aming distrito and sa lahat po ng mga attached agency. Gusto ko lang po i-manifest on record, sir, kay General Azurin, sir. Alam ko, nagsaset po ako sa inyo ng meeting one of these days. Yung problema namin, very parochial, very alarming lang. Nandito po si General Steve Ludan, na sumusuporta palagi at doing a very good job, not only sa Cagayan, but the whole of Region 2. And we are very thankful together with the Madam Chair dito ng suporta na-retain siya. And of course, ang appeal lang po namin, yung nangyayari po sa province of Cagayan, Chief, sana mabigyan na din to ng suporta, lalo na ngayon na kayo po ang nandyan na matigil na rin yung killings po namin sa Cagayan province, more particularly General Azurin, yung nangyayari po sa bayan ng Tuaw. So sa kalaman po ng lahat na nandito, 17 killings na for the past 2 years ang nangyari doon, and unfortunately, much as General Ludan would like to solve all of these problems, may mga challenges. Hopefully lang po, sir, huwag niyo pong itigil ang suporta sa amin doon. Kasi alam ko naman na ginagawa ng kapulisan ang kanilang magagawa para po malutas sa lahat ng mga kriminalidad doon sa amin. Lalo na killings po ito siguro nagbigay na ng briefer si sa inyo, si General Steve, no, at nabigyan din akong pagkakataon kay Secretary Benhar, no, na makausap ko si Secretary Benhar, no, 2 weeks ago. So I just hope po yung suporta niyo sa amin sa 3rd District ng Cagayan po ay tuloy-tuloy at magkaroon na rin po ng kalutasan lahat po ng mga killings po sa amin. So once again, Madam Chair, maraming salamat sa pagkakataon.
Okay, so
Just
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Jojo Lara. I support yung request ni Kong Jojo Lara because I even you even told that to the president, the former president. Yeah. Okay, may we get a comment
We will.
from the secretary?
Yes,
or-
rest assured, Congressman Lara, we will look into it. We support you. Okay, we'll look into it.
Thank you very much, Apo.
Okay, so maraming salamat. May the chair now recognize our majority floor leader, Manix Delipe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have been doing this budget briefing for almost 8 hours already. And I see that there are no more interpellators. Madam Chair, I move that we terminate the budget briefing of the Department of the Interior and local government to include its attached agencies and corporation. I so move, Madam Chair.
Second.
Second.
Bali, Vice Chair ka naman. Co-chair naman kita dito. So maraming salamat po for a fruitful meeting.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay, so any motion for determination?
Suspend. Suspend.
Is there a motion already? May I request for a motion for the suspension of the budget briefing?
Madam Chair, I move that we suspend today's
Madam Chair.
budget briefing.
Ah, meron na.
No, go ahead. Kala ko wala.
Suspend.
Sorry, boss. Kala ko wala.
Sige na.
Madam Chair, may I move that we suspend our deliberation, resume on Friday, September 2nd at 9 a.m.
So is there any objection? The chair hears none, the motion is approved.
That's the number of motion. Hindi pwede yung Di ba, sir? Di ba, Sige lang, natin yun. Okay, sir. Kailan